For the first time in nearly 2 years, NCHC Frozen Face-Off is live, and it's here on RedHawk Radio. Good evening, everyone. From our RedHawk Radio studios, Luke West Poley here with your pregame. It's the Miami RedHawks and the North Dakota Fighting Hawks in first-round playoff action. North Dakota comes into this game red hot, 18-5-1 on the season, ranked second nationally. They are the top seed coming into the NCHC. Miami, the bottom seed, at 5-17-2. These teams met twice in the regular season. Both of those came a couple of months ago in the NCHC pod. North Dakota took both of those 2-0 and 6-2 were the score. And as mentioned before, red hot are the Fighting Hawks, number one in the CHN Power 16 coming into this week. 5 of their last 6 regular season games were wins. Unfortunately for them, they dropped their final game of the season at the Ralph. It was an OT loss to Nebraska Omaha. Miami has struggled to finish off the regular season with just one win in the last 12 games for the RedHawks, but in a single elimination format, anything can happen, and they're certainly hoping they can steal a game away from the number 2 team in the country tonight. And if you weren't able to catch the early puck drop at the NCHC Frozen Face-Off, it was a wild affair between the St. Cloud State Huskies and the Colorado College Tigers. St. Cloud would take that one by a final score of 2-1. They will move on into the second round. They are the second seed. Colorado College was the 7th. St. Cloud outshot Colorado College 44-7 in just a 1-goal game. Colorado College would strike first, 18:52 into the second on a neutral zone regroup, being outshot 12-3 at the time. They would score from the red line, which would end up giving them the lead early. Later in the second period, at just about the 19-minute mark, though, the Huskies would strike back. It was Zach O'Cabe with the power play goal to tie it up. And then late in the third, with just 3:55 to go, Nick Perbix would put the dagger into Colorado College with the go-ahead goal. As mentioned before, St. Cloud will advance to the second round. They're still waiting on their opponent. There will be a reseeding, so if Miami wins today, they will play St. Cloud on Monday in the second round. St. Cloud will still have to wait on some results to figure out who they will be playing for sure. If North Dakota wins today, they will get the lowest seed, as mentioned before, due to the reseeding. We will take a break just for a moment, and we'll come back with the rest of the pregame show here on RedHawk Radio. You're listening to Miami Hockey. Back in a moment. Back here with our RedHawk Radio pregame from our RedHawk Radio studios. Luke West Poley, I think it's time we bring in our color analyst for today, Jack Schmelzinger. Jack, great to have you in today. Let's take a look at a couple of key players for each team, starting with the Fighting Hawks, and it all starts with NCHC Player of the Year, Shane Pinto.
Absolutely, and he led the conference in points and goals. He's an Ottawa Senators draft pick, and he had a really good season. He actually won NCHC Forward of the Year and Defensive Forward of the Year, so a great two-way player for North Dakota.
And the second of which, the captain for the Fighting Hawks this year and last year's Hobie hat-trick finalist, Jordan Kawaguchi, first team All-NCHC selection, finished second in voting this year, and he's been really, really good for the Fighting Hawks as well.
Yeah, and he's been dangerous against Miami his entire career in 12 games against the RedHawks since starting his college career. He's got 17 points, so they're really going to have to watch out for him today.
And on the RedHawks side, who else could we look for other than the Swede between the pipes, Ludvig Pearson, second team All-NCHC selection and NCHC rookie team selection. He's going to have to be big if the RedHawks want to steal a game on the road tonight.
Absolutely, and steal a game is a really great way to say it. To beat the number one team in the NCHC and the second best team in the country, they're really going to have to get a great performance from Ludvig Pearson. This is a North Dakota team that's third nationally in offense, so it's going to be a tough task for him today, and he's going to have to be big in between the pipes. And I'm going to watch Matthew Barbolini today, the team leader in goals, freshman from Williamsville, New York. Really excited to see what he can do today on the big stage.
Absolutely, and offense is something the RedHawks have struggled with a bit this year, but execution going to be huge for the RedHawks tonight. So, Jack, now let's get into the keys to the game tonight for the RedHawks. If you want to get one on the road against one of the best teams in college hockey, what do you got to do?
Yeah, really, the biggest thing is you have to play mistake-free hockey. This is a North Dakota team. They have NHL draft picks on all four lines. They're really deep, really dangerous all around the lineup. So you can't have a shift off. You can't have a minute lapse. And they're going to really have to, like we've been saying the last few broadcasts, they're going to have to be great on the penalty kill. This is the sixth best power play in the nation. And they've scored a power play goal in 20 out of 24 games. So a big thing today will be staying out of the box and being good on special teams.
Absolutely, and North Dakota is a team that's very, very dangerous. 17-0 on the year when scoring first. All five of their losses have come when they gave up a goal to start the game. They're 6-1 also at the Ralph this year. Their only loss coming in the last game of the regular season. It was in overtime against the Omaha Mavericks.
Yeah, they're really dangerous at home. North Dakota hasn't allowed a third-period goal at home this year, and they're outscoring opponents 30-8. So the RedHawks are really going to have to break that up if they want to have a chance here tonight.
Yeah, and obviously fans being allowed into the Ralph for tonight's game, and the North Dakota faithful always show up, it seems, no matter where the game is, whether that's at home or on the road, and about 2,000 fans being allowed inside the Ralph Engelstad Arena for tonight's game, and they're going to play a huge factor as well for the Fighting Hawks.
Absolutely, and that group of 2,000 people is going to sound like 11,000, like the Ralph Engelstad Arena holds. These North Dakota fans they love their hockey, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Jack Schmelzinger, pleasure to have you here on the pregame. He'll be our color analyst for tonight, and coming back, he will be alongside our play-by-play man, Patrick Geshan, and it's NCHC playoff hockey on RedHawk Radio for the first time in nearly 2 years. Get excited, everyone. Back in a moment.
Patrick Geshan, Jack Schmelzinger back with you here from the RedHawk Radio Broadcast Center, set and ready to go for quarterfinal number 2 on the day here in the NCHC in the Frozen Faceoff. It features the Miami RedHawks and the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. All right, Jack, so we just did the pregame segment. You talked about your keys to the game. Just want to reiterate for those people just joining us, what does Miami need for success in this quarterfinal matchup playing North Dakota on the road? It's the 8 seed versus the 1 seed, and the 1 seed just ironically happens to be on their home ice tonight.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, this is a North Dakota team without many weaknesses. They're 3rd in the nation offensively, 6th in the nation defensively, lead the NCHC in both those categories. So really, you just need to play mistake-free hockey if you're Miami tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of tough for this Miami team. Want to ask you, Jack, too, a couple key players back in Miami's lineup. Ryan Savage and Ben Lown make their epic returns to the lineup after missing the past several weeks as the national anthem occurring at Ralph Engelstad Arena right now. Of course, we're broadcasting remote, but 2 key players in Miami's offensive lineup. Ben Lown will play on the top line tonight. You got Ryan Savage down on the 3rd line. What kind of impact are you looking for them to make tonight in this one?
Yeah, you know, the RedHawks really haven't been healthy for the entire season, and right now is a great time to get healthy right before the playoffs, right before a single elimination game where really anything can happen. And would love to see those guys make a big impact. Lown on the first line, he's a really explosive offensive player, so it's going to be fun to see him play with, I believe, Phil Nyes and Casey Gilling tonight.
For sure, and we'll get a good look at all of those guys tonight as they'll play some integral roles in the lineup. Ludwig Pearson continues to be hot. In fact, I was talking to somebody that's in the playoff pod, if you will, in North Dakota right now, Jack, and they said, you know, if Miami wins this game, it would probably be Ludwig Pearson as the X factor, because this guy just been, as we've talked about all year, continues to just be that glue that holds the team together, and when everything is not going right, Ludwig Pearson's playing well all the time.
Yeah, and it's usually not a great recipe for success to lean on a freshman goaltender to really carry you, but Miami is going to need to do that tonight. And like Luke was saying earlier, St. Cloud played Colorado College earlier today, and they outshot them 44-7, but only won by a goal. So we could see a game just like that for Miami with Ludwig Pearson really being the driving force.
Right.
And, you know, a couple bounces and anything can happen.
So we will see as we just heard the national anthem wrap up at Ralph Engelstad Arena. Just a note to our listeners, we are not at Ralph Engelstad Arena in Grand Forks right now, broadcasting this game remotely. It is a RedHawk Radio first. We are very grateful for the NCHC and hooking us up with our appropriate audio and video feeds, and hoping we can bring this game to you just as if we were in the arena upstairs at Goggin Ice Center. We'll take a look at your starting goaltenders for tonight's game, starting with the visiting RedHawks. Ludwig Pearson out of Hindus, Sweden, gets the start. 6'1", 184 freshman, 5-10-2 record on the year, 2.40 goals against, 930 save percentage. For North Dakota, Adam Scheel. He's actually an Ohio native out of Lakewood. Junior, that's 6'3", 192. Played his BCHL hockey in Pendleton before coming to North Dakota. 16-3-1 record this season, 1.83 goals against, 929 save percentage, 4 shutouts on the year for Adam Scheel. Referees today are Dan Dreger and Nick Kresbach. Tony Aronson and Dan Cohen will work the lines in Grand Forks. And we have not yet seen on our feed what uniforms each team is wearing. We will hope to get that information to you as we'll get a live look inside the arena here shortly. Just looking at a dark screen right now. They haven't quite brought it up yet, but again, I think, Jack, one of the critical parts in this game for Miami is going to be a good start for them on the road. Obviously, you don't have 11,000 people in the stands as is custom at North Dakota, but good start for sure is going to be critical in this one.
Yeah, and just like we said earlier, North Dakota's 17-0 when scoring first this season, and they've all 5 of their losses on the year have come when they got scored on first. So a big thing for Miami would be to score an early goal. That would go a long way toward upsetting the number 2 team in the country,
right.
North Dakota.
As we get a look now at our head coaches on the TV, Brad Berry in his 6th season at North Dakota, 134 wins, 62 losses, 24 ties after he replaced Dave Haxtell already 6 years ago. Hard to believe it's been that long. As they go through the starting goaltenders on TV, Chris Bergeron on there now, his 2nd season, 13, 38, and 7 as head coach of Miami. We are underway. The game is on at Ralph Engelstad Arena. RedHawks move left to right across the radio here in period number 1. We're 10 seconds in, and North Dakota, quick offensive rush is over the line on the right wing. Quick pass in front, and a backhand score. Colin Adams got the feed from Jordan Kawaguchi. Forehand, backhand, top shelf. And 14 seconds in, the Fighting Hawks lead at 1-0.
And wow, what an explosive start from North Dakota. And against a team as good as them, you really don't want to be playing from behind, especially a team that is 17-0 when scoring first, like we said. So Miami's really going to have to break the mold here and try to battle back against one of the best teams in the country.
So Kawaguchi came over the line on the right wing, gave it over to Colin Adams, was left wide open in front, streaked in for the forehand, backhand, left-handed shot player. As the RedHawks a quick chance over the line on the left wing, they get a shot in on Adam Sheila, makes the glove save. So Miami an offensive zone draw coming up as we are 19 seconds into period number 1. So that RedHawk top line tonight is Phil Nyes, Casey Gilling, and Ben Lown. Of course, talking about Ben Lown in the pregame making his grand entrance back in the lineup for Miami. Draw to the right of Shield. North Dakota able to work it out of the zone off the stick of Cole Caulfield. RedHawks work it through the circle. Barbolini, left wing feed, can't get it out. North Dakota with it here on the far half wall. Shane Pinto has it. Feeds it down below the RedHawk net. Robbie Drasner was there, coughed it up for North Dakota. They're back at the line with a puck. Reese Gamer for Pinto. Near wing for Samuelson. Returns it to the line. Pinto, wrist shot. Blocked down to traffic in the circle. Perry feeds this one up through center ice. Back in the hands of the Fighting Hawks. And a feed to right wing. They're over the line offside. As trying to get the pass on the right wing was Shane Pinto. And the Ottawa Senators draft pick causes a whistle just a little over a minute in.
And we just saw a really quick regroup from North Dakota, and you can see why they're one of the best teams in the nation. That regroup is dangerous. They can get the puck back in the neutral zone and have it right back in your offensive zone before you even really know what hits you.
Neutral ice draw on the North Dakota right wing, closest to their blue line. They're in off the line on the left wing as Mark Senden gets to the corner with the puck. Brings it around the board to the far half wall. Was sent deep into the zone by Gabe Bass, number 2 in white. RedHawks in their road red uniforms tonight, by the way. North Dakota, their home white uniforms with green. Standard looks that both teams have thrown out all season long. Far half wall, RedHawks have it. Scott Corbett kind of coughs it up there in the Miami zone. RedHawks here will work it out. Ryan Savage, first touch for him, being back after several games out with an injury. Pass to the near wing in the North Dakota zone as they go D to D, and the feed up through center as Jasper Weatherby dumps this into the far corner. Weatherby is tripped up there by Alec Kapsik. With it here in the near corner is Mahalik. He's the extra defenseman tonight for the RedHawks. The 7th defenseman dressed. North Dakota kicks it back to the line. Kierstead, right side, a shot in there from the line, was blocked down in the circle, and it deflects in on Pearson, who makes the cover as we have 18:03 to go in the first. Early lead for North Dakota at 1-0 in this one. The goal by their top center, Colin Adams. So we talked about, Jack, the quick start for the RedHawks, and 14 seconds in, you got a goal against you.
Yeah, and that's going to be tough to come back from with Adam Sheila in that February. In February, he saved 96% of the shots he saw, only a 1.01 goals against average, so going to have to try to focus on getting a quick one here because playing from behind is not something you want to do against a team this good.
Right. In the far corner of the Miami zone, Derek Daskey will work this one out, dump it up the near wing boards, and it's out to center ice. Quick rush up the right wing is Chase Pletzky over the UND line, but North Dakota breaks it up high in his zone. They can't clear. You had Sladek coming through. A shot there by Monty Graham on the near post was held by the chest of Shield. Kick to the near corner. RedHawks work it back. Near circle, a rip over the net. On the wrist shot there by Pletzky. Far half wall sent in by Derek Daskey, just wide of the net. Back to the right point, Clement. Good offensive pressure here from the RedHawks. His shot stick to the corner by Shield. Rimmed around to the far corner. Monty Graham crashes in there, leaves it for North Dakota. And the Fighting Hawks work this one out as Janarek had it. And up the near wing boards along the side of the net. You have Kierstead, far corner for the Fighting Hawks at the half wall. Sends this one back behind the cage. On it now for North Dakota is Mark Senden. Fires this one up the right wing boards to center ice. Kawaguchi on it here. Kawahobi, they called him last year. Near wing feed. Brendan Buddy over the line left wing. Top left winger as the First line out there for North Dakota. Gets it into the offensive zone. RedHawks quickly clear back to center ice. And the Fighting Hawks will chase it here in their own end and fire it into the Miami bench in a left wing clear out the near side of the zone.
We just saw a really good shift there from what's listed as Miami's fourth line tonight. Chase Plesky, Monty Graham, and John Sladek. They were really in there, tenacious on the forecheck, got 2 or 3 shots on net. And that's what you want to see from your fourth line. And if you can get depth scoring in this game, that'll go a long way to having a chance at defeating North Dakota here.
Need depth scoring period to be successful in this league.
Absolutely.
RedHawks with it near half full of the offensive zone. North Dakota trying to work it out from there. Buddy, the feet of the middle of the ice was picked off right to the stick of Barbolini. He'll feather this one deep behind the UND net. Fighting Hawks trying to work it out the far wing. They were shut down after the initial clearing attempt by Ethan Frisch. RedHawks cleared up the near wing boards. And it's into their offensive zone again until turned over to North Dakota as he had Sanderson fire this one far side to Kawaguchi. The backhand shovel to center behind the UND offensive zone. RedHawks with it in their own end as Alcoholic with it here. Patrick Geshan, Jack Schmelzinger, and Luke West Poley alongside too. We're 4 minutes into this NCHC quarterfinal. North Dakota 1, Miami nothing. Broadcasting from the RedHawk Radio Broadcast Center here in Oxford. And of course, game action occurring at Ralph Engelstad Arena in Grand Forks. Miami enters the zone offside on the right wing, and the face-off to neutralize just over 4 minutes in.
And we see that there are about 2,000 fans in the stands at Engelstad Arena tonight. I'm a little bit jealous. Wish that we could have had some fans here at Katie Arena.
Of course, people were in the stands, but the capacity limits only held 4 tickets to each player, their family members. North Dakota, from their own end, sends it all the way down the ice in on Ludwig Pearson, who makes the safe cover with 15:47 left in the opening period. But it really does add a little bit more atmosphere to the game, if you will, if you're playing in front of actual people.
Absolutely, and like we said earlier, the fans in North Dakota, they're going to make sure that they're heard, despite only having 2,000 people in the arena tonight.
Loudest fans in all of college hockey, that's for sure. Dashke, right wing, the centering feed for the RedHawks is coming through as Cassetti couldn't get his stick on the puck. Quick rush the other way. Here come the Fighting Hawks into the far circle. Offensive zone sent across the crease. A 1-against-4 rush there for Reese Gamer, North Dakota. Hawks work this one out to center. Cassetti chases down the left wing, grabs the puck in the offensive zone, and will take this one behind the net and hit the brakes as Bernard Docker works heavily on him. Feed to the right point, picked off there by Weatherby. Initial attempt to clear doesn't work. Goes to the far side of the ice, and Bernard Docker's on it for North Dakota, although he will lose it. And in the circle with it is Sladek. Little backhand shot, and a stick to the near corner by Shield. North Dakota 2-on-2 the other way. Sendin let it go in front of them too far. Chased down by Drazzer near corner Miami zone. Drazzer ends up with a puck. Left it there for Rourke Russell. Senior potentially playing in his final game of his career, and North Dakota works it back in their own end. Right wing feed over the line is Gabe Bass. A little over 5 minutes into our first period. He's shoved off the puck there by the RedHawks in the corner, and they score as it came out loose in the circle, and Sendin fired it home to give the Fighting Hawks a 2-0 lead with 14:33 to go in the first, as Sendin came out of the middle of nowhere, or was it Yamarik? As he was the first one in the line to go to the bench, but anyway, a quick puck was fired on net. Pearson didn't see it. 2-0 North Dakota.
Yeah, and what a shot. I believe it was Yamarik, and yeah, right there, puck just popped out to him in the right at the low circle, and a bad angle shot, and he was able to sneak it over Pearson's right shoulder. Really great shot there from Sendin, and now it's 2-0. And you really hope that Pearson can stay a little bit confident here.
First goal of the year for Louis Zombrick. They score again. Coming in on net right after the face-off. It's 3-0 North Dakota. We're not even 6 minutes in yet. And this time Jordan Kawaguchi on the 3-on-2 the other way. Crashed it through, poked it through Pearson. North Dakota rolling right now.
Wow, and what a nightmare scenario for Miami. The last thing that they wanted to do was come in here and go down early. And 1 goal is bad enough. Now it's 3-0. It's going to be almost impossible to come back from this.
You had Adams coming through the right circle into the offensive zone. He tried a centering pass over on the left wing to Kawaguchi, but it never even got to him. You had Hampus Reichwist for the RedHawks skating down the middle of the ice, the middle lane, and the centering pass went off his skate past Pearson and into the net, an own goal. So the hole is deep for Miami. 3-0. They are down with 14:07 to go in the opening period. RedHawks with it in the offensive zone. You got Matt Berry coming out of the near corner with a puck. Skates it up to the right point. Feeds it left side for Daschke. Shoots it in on net. Blocked down by his own man in front of Jack Olmstead. And Henrik will send this one to center ice for North Dakota. They'll chase this one back to the Miami zone as Daschke with it. Far corner, the backhand feed, the near wing for Jack Clement. Right side feed for him up to center ice. The RedHawks there trying to grab it, but then Savage was upended. They called something. Maybe a high stick or an offside as Savage was upended there. It could have been a high stick against him. Anyway, we'll get the call when we come back. But North Dakota 3, Miami nothing. That's right, only 13:38 to go in the first period. This is Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio. Patrick Geshan, Jack Schmelzinger back with you here from the RedHawk Radio Broadcast Center in Oxford, Ohio. Miami and North Dakota on the ice tonight in the NCHC quarterfinal. It's 3-0 Fighting Hawks over Miami. I don't think you could draw it up any worse, Jack.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough to come back from this for Miami, but it'll be interesting to see. You know, we'll be able to see what kind of team this is, if they'll still keep battling with really their end of their season looming 2 periods away, and we'll get to see what the freshmen can bring, the young players.
RedHawks with it for half full of the offensive zone. North Dakota quickly works it back behind their net as they got the puck out. Cooper Moore, extra defenseman for North Dakota tonight, gets the feet over the line on the right wing. Comes Pinto with a rip. That was blocked down by Russell on its way in. Coming away with the puck is Gamer out of the near corner of the North Dakota offensive zone. Feeds it right point. Bernard Docker patient and shoots it from the circle at a wide open lane. Pearson a great save to keep that one up high in his chest. Whistle blows with 12:57 remaining in period number 1.
Yeah, not what you really want to see. I believe it was Bernard Docker, you said, just really walked right in, got the puck at the point, walked almost under the circles, and got a really good high percentage shot there. So you'd love to see the Miami right wingers get out to the defenseman at the point a little quicker there.
3-0 game in favor of North Dakota. The shots, though, were actually in favor of the Fighting Hawks, 6-5. That's it. Miami with it, neutralized. John Slatic, right side of the red line, will dump this one into the near corner. Matt Kierstead behind the North Dakota net. Right wing feed for Weatherby, and they're out of their own zone. Weatherby left side feed. Over the line comes Hay in the middle of the ice. Feed there for Kierstead. It was in front of Pearson. He patted it behind his net, and the RedHawks take over here, coming out to neutral ice. Slatic with it, right side of the blue line. He'll get it over into the North Dakota zone. Pletzky copped it up middle of the ice, and Gavin Hain is back to the way for North Dakota. He tried to feed it middle for Weatherby. It was broken up there as Daschke with a puck far half wall for Miami in their own zone. He copped it up though to Reese Gamer, who plays this one back to the far corner of the Fighting Hawks offensive end. Weatherby wins the battle against Clement down there, played up the far side, and Chase Pletzky emerges with the puck. Fires this one over to the near side of the North Dakota zone. With it there is Kawaguchi to play it to the far side of the ice. Miami rather 3-11-0 this season when their opponent scores first. They're down 3-0 in the first. Sanderson with it behind the North Dakota net. Right side feed. Here come the Fighting Hawks up the ice. And as he had Caulfield to play it across the ice coming into the offensive zone. RedHawks with the puck as North Dakota dumped it in and went for a change. Ben Lau near wing feed for Derek Daschke. And Casey Gillian, the cross ice look. Over on the left wing, taking it over the line is Russell. Played it in on Gamer, who sticked it to the corner. And Blosdell has it for North Dakota, skating out of their own net. That's Harrison Blosdell, a Winnipeg Jets draft pick. Lost it at center ice. Here come the RedHawks down the wing. Left side, Trasner through the circle. Backhand play, and on Shield made the save. Let it go to the near corner. Trasner, the centering feed again. Finds Olmstead. Spin around shot. Just wide of the right post. There he's on it. Left point. Feeds it forward for Mahalik. And his shot from the line is into the glove of Shield with 10:58 to go in the opening period.
And despite the rough start, it's been an actually pretty good beginning of the game for Miami offensive chances-wise. Actually tied with North Dakota in shots right now, 7-7.
Yeah.
So would love to see them keep it up, and if they can get this type of offensive explosiveness going all night and maybe find the back of the net a few times, maybe this game isn't really over yet.
You never know. Still very early on in this one. We've seen teams come back from 3 goals down before. All levels of hockey, right?
Absolutely.
North Dakota works this one back to center with it middle of the ice. The dump in by Mahalik. Back behind the North Dakota net. Bernard Docker rims it around to the near side of the ice. Fighting Hawks lose it there. Back behind their cage. Ryan Savage with it for Miami. Although he was spun off the puck by Kierstead down low. North Dakota 3-on-2 the other way. Over the line on the right wing. Coming through the middle of the circle was Sendin and kind of made a feed there toward the middle. Could not reach Kawaguchi, and the RedHawks kick the puck back to center ice. Bernard Docker ahead. Kawaguchi over the line on the right wing. Colin Adams leads it to the circle. Buddy, cross ice feed. In the near wing is Kierstead, finishing middle. And North Dakota able to get a stick on that puck there. Our corner with it is Bass. Plays it up to the half wall. Let it go outside the line. With it in center ice is Sladek. Gave it up for Pletzky, who will backhand this one in the Miami zone as Mahalik goes D-to-D for Reichwist. And back for Alec Mahalik. Although he lost in the middle of the ice, RedHawks regain control over the UND line right away. You have Karam on the puck, Bass behind him. He'll fire this one up the faraway boards for Kawaguchi. And the exit pass here is North Dakota back up the ice. Near side feed for Gamer in the left wing. He'll fire this one toward the net. Pearson the pad save behind the cage. RedHawks working out up the right wing, and Sladek will chip to center. As chasing it down in his own end is Cooper Moore for North Dakota. 9:22 to go in the opening period. It's 3-0 Fighting Hawks in this NCHC quarterfinal. Dashke with it, center ice, the near wing feed as it's Clement with it now in his own end. Another D-to-D pass over on the left side for Dashke. Cross ice feed, right side Gilling. Cannot handle as the top line back out there for the RedHawks. Gamer is back for more. North Dakota works this one up. And through center ice is Nyes, turns it over. Lown, left side feed for Russell coming down the wing against the boards. He couldn't center it. And the puck in the near corner of the Miami offensive zone. Gilling with it here, feeds it to the circle. The shot, they score! Phil Nyes, top left corner of the net, over the blocker side of Adam Shield. And there's life in the RedHawks. It's a 2-goal game with 8:46 to go in the first as the captain gets Miami on the board.
And one of the best-known adages in hockey, one of the worst leads is a 2-goal lead, so Miami's in a dangerous position right now. North Dakota is definitely up in this game, but Miami's not dead yet.
Never in my life thought I'd hear the Miami fight song playing inside Ralph Engelstad Arena. Happening now. I
I'm
like
sure
your
that the
optimism,
Sioux
though.
faithful are happy about that.
All over it, huh? Played the goal horn, too, after Miami scored. 8:36 to go in the first. RedHawks ice it from their own end. Like your optimism, though, Jack, and I think if you're the RedHawks, you're going to have to be optimistic at this point because you're playing the #1 team in the conference on their home ice.
Yeah, and you can't come into this game, and Miami didn't come into this game expecting it all to go well and for there not to be adversity. And, you know, like we said, the game's not over. 2-goal lead's one of the worst leads in hockey, so a bloop and a blast to use a baseball.
Right. Jake Sanderson takes it toward the North Dakota attacking zone. He started his little spin around the zone in the near circle and then made his way around to the high slot around the net and fired a shot. Pearson made the stop. So 8:25 remaining here in the opening period. It's 3-1 North Dakota. RedHawks on the board with a goal from Phil Nyes. We're back in a moment. This is Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio. We're back. Patrick Geshan, Jack Schmelzinger with you here. NCHC quarterfinal number 2 on the day. Miami and North Dakota Fighting Hawks leading at 3-1. We're live from the RedHawk Radio Broadcast Center. Game action occurring at Ralph Engelstad Arena in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Face off to the left of Ludwig Pearson, a false start on the opening one, and we'll do it again in the North Dakota offensive zone. So it was a 3-0 lead for North Dakota. Miami just answering no on the goal from Phil Nyes in the last few minutes to make it 3-1 in this high-flying first period in terms of offense.
Fitting that they're both called the RedHawks and the Fighting Hawks, respectively, I guess.
Yeah. North Dakota with it here in the offensive zone. Colin Adams feeds it to the near corner of his offensive end. Gabe Bast from behind the net will feed it to the far corner. Kawaguchi, the cycle for Bast. To the right point they go. Sending for Sanderson. Don't golf this one. Back behind the Miami net again. Crashing in on the battle was Cassetti down there with Kawaguchi. North Dakota wins that, and they're at the line again. As yet Fresh sending it right side for Sanderson. He's down the far half wall with the puck. Sanderson works this one across the ice. Fresh is on it near half wall for North Dakota. In the corner will hit the brakes. And toss this one. Get a penalty called immediately there. A holding whistle. And who's it going to be against? As the whistle blew immediately, I think North Dakota had the puck. Was not a delayed call. And we still haven't gotten a look yet as far as who the penalty is against. It comes with 7:36 to go in the first. And it's Scott Corbett for Miami who's going to get the minor for holding. First power play of the day goes to North Dakota.
Yeah, and someone like Jake Sanderson, a first-round pick, I believe 5th overall by the Ottawa Senators last year. That's a talented player, and he's a guy who's going to get a lot of holding penalties. All these talented guys on North Dakota, you're going to have to stop them some way, and when they get past you, sometimes frustrating them by grabbing their jersey is the only way to go.
So when Sanderson had the puck right point, he was held by Corbett, got 2 arms around him by Scott Corbett, so an easy call there. It was delayed, we just didn't see it. Apologies for that. North Dakota power play 25% on the year. Miami penalty kill at 75%. Quick shot just wide of the circle. That came off the stick there of North Dakota's Judd Caulfield rather. And North Dakota will work this one back down the ice and all the way down. Judd Caulfield and Cole Caulfield are brothers. Judd plays for North Dakota in this game tonight. He's a Pittsburgh Penguins draft pick. On the line left wing is Weatherby. Back behind the cage for Sanderson rather. He coughed it up there. Redhawks will work it through the corner as Pletzky grabs it for the Redhawks. Can't get it out though. Kept in right point by Sanderson. Feeds it over for Bernard Docker. Backward skates to the middle of the blue line. His shot just wide of the net. Russell coming out of the near corner of the Miami zone with it. He lost it at the half wall until it was regained by Pletzky in the battle win, and he'll send it all the way down the ice with 59 seconds to go in the power play. Shield golfed this one from his own crease all the way down the ice. An indirect pass as North Dakota was changing on the other side of the sheet. And an icing call against North Dakota's goaltender with 55 to go in the power play puts the face-off in the Fighting Hawks zone.
Yeah, and it looks like Shield might have seen, I believe it was Jordan Kawaguchi. He was off on the far boards behind the Miami defenseman, who I believe were changing as well. And good thing that he wasn't able to find him, because that could have been pretty easily North Dakota's 4th goal of the game.
Hawks head team back in the Miami zone again after North Dakota, who's second this year in the NCHC with power play percentage behind Western Michigan. Fighting Hawks in their offensive end with it behind the net. Pinto has it. Works his way to the far side of the half wall and far end of the ice for North Dakota. Playing out of the corner for Kawaguchi. Phil Nyes with the puck. Stole it away there on a feed to the line and golfs it all the way back down the ice. Here's 10 out of his own end with it for North Dakota. 19 seconds left in the power play. 5:53 to go here in the opening period. Kawaguchi with it and will circle back at center ice for the Fighting Hawks. Back at his own end here and over the line in the left wing. Feeds up to Colin Adams. Kawaguchi in the corner. Sends it for a circle point blank chance. Kaber was blocked by Russell. He picked up the rebound and scored. As Work Russell with the initial block shot is down on all fours on the ice. Kaber just skated around him and threw it past Pearson. And I don't know if that's technically a power play goal or not, but it's 4-1 North Dakota with a goal back. 5:36 to go in the opening period.
Yeah, and a really gutsy play there by Russell to get down in front of that shot point blank. and it looks like it hit him right in the midsection,
Yep.
and that could not have felt good. And after that, the puck was just laying right out in the crease, and looks like Gaber was able to bury it pretty easily. Ludwig Pearson was off to the left of the crease, out of position there.
9th of the year for Reese Gaber, number 17. They're going to review it.
And it was odd how far out of the net Pearson was. I wonder if they're reviewing, seeing if he was pushed out by a North Dakota player. It didn't look like there was anyone in the crease, but I could have missed something.
So our referees tonight, who are Dan Dreger and Nick Kresbacher, on the monitors right now in the penalty box, taking a look at this one. Hopefully we'll get another look on our TV feed here with 5:36 to go in the first. So Pearson is in the top left part of the blue paint. You had Adams skating through the crease behind him with Drasser behind Adams. So you had Adams, who was right on Pearson's rear end when that shot came through, and Pearson immediately after the goal went in is putting his arms up saying, what the heck? So you had Adams that literally went right through the crease behind Pearson and kind of got him off position. There was contact there.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think Ludwig Pearson might have a case here. It looks like Adams got him right in the rear end and spun him out of the net.
Yep.
And he wasn't in the crease when the puck went in the net, but he certainly made contact with Pearson.
To the point where Pearson was then able to slide over as he was pushed out of the paint, out left side, out of the blue paint. And at the time of the shot was really unable to slide over and make that save. That's what you could make a case for.
Yeah, and Adams is right there, right around his left leg area, and for sure it looks like it would have been hard, if not impossible, for Pearson to get that skate in the ice and push back over.
You did have Robbie Drasser of Miami making contact with the player skating through the crease in North Dakota's Colin Adams. So you had Drasser kind of behind Adams, and there was contact there, and then Adams contacted Pearson. So if this is not a goal, it might be, they argue, because Drasser was tied up with Adams. I think we've got our call coming up here.
After further review, the call on the ice is confirmed. That is a good goal.
Oh, it is a good goal. So they must have thought that either Drasser was the one causing the contact with Adams, and then therefore the contact with Pearson, or Pearson just wasn't contacted enough. 9th of the year for Reese Gaber, 4-1 North Dakota. 5:35 to go in the opening period. Fighting Hawks, really great offensive opening frame to this one. Very cross-ice feed, left wing over the line is Alcoholic. He lost it there coming into the zone. And back with it in his own end is Matt Perry up the right wing, will feed it across the ice. With it here, Barbolini playing it to the far circle as Clevin works this one out for North Dakota. Right side feed over the line. Coming with it there on the far side of the ice is Jackson Keene. You got the fourth line out there for the Fighting Hawks after Gaber's goal. Behind that, RedHawks working around to the near wing boards, trying to get it out of their own end as Olmstead will do that, but get a whistle here. I guess the puck deflected into the bench on its way out. So with just under 5 minutes to go in the opening period, you have the goal that came off the stick of Reese Gaber. 4-1 North Dakota. We're back in a moment. This is Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio.
In just about 5 minutes, we will have the intermission report from our RedHawk Radio studios. Join us for a game recap and a look around the 9 other matchups going on across 3 conferences tonight in college hockey. But for now, we'll send it back to Patrick Geshan and Jack Schmelzinger with the last 5 minutes of the period.
Thank you, Luke. Looking forward to the intermission report. 4:55 to go in the opening period. RedHawks trailing North Dakota 4-1 on the ice at Ralph Engelstad Arena. Ryan Savage crossed his feet, chipped into the Miami offensive zone there by Scott Corbett. You got Sanderson with it near corner of the North Dakota zone, working it out through the circle for Weatherby, and returns it back for Sanderson. Feed through the middle of the ice, grabbed there by Scott Corbett. He picked it off over the line on the right wing, coming down through the corner. Shoved off though by Sendin as the RedHawks try to work this one. Quick centering feed in front. Monty Graham with 2 whacks at it. Good pad saves made both times. There by Shield, and North Dakota works the puck back in the Miami zone. In on net, Pearson the glove on the dump it from center ice. That time they came in from Jasper Weatherby. 2 good whacks at it there for the RedHawks.
Yeah, and another really good shift from Miami's fourth line, and good to see those guys looking to contribute, working hard down low, down 4-1 against North Dakota. Those guys aren't giving up at all yet.
Fourth line of really done a lot of good stuff for the RedHawks this season. John Slatic with the puck near side of the Miami zone, coming out of the half wall. We'll dump this one into North Dakota end. Gamer the cross his feet over there on the wing. Fighting Hawks play in middle. Kirsten near wing over the line on the left wing. With it is Gamer. Copped it up though as Pletzky came in for the strip, but he lost it behind the Miami net. Quick centering play in front by North Dakota. 2 whacks in it there by Judd Caulfield, and it's played back into the near corner. Caulfield left point feed. With it is Kirsten. Right side play over to Bernard Docker. His shot top of the far circle. Big rebound after the initial save. They wave off the goal as it was played in by Bernard Docker. You got Ludwig Pearson down on his back inside the net. And now Gaber is in a tussle with Work Russell on the left post. They'll get that broken up. I did not quite see what happened in front of the net when the shot came in, but they waved the goal off immediately. The faceoff is coming, I believe, outside of the zone. He had Pearson on his back in the cage. He's okay.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of ambiguity surrounding the last goal, but I don't think there's any for this one. It looked like Gaber shoved Rourke Russell directly into Pearson as that shot was coming in, and by the time the puck hit the back of the net, Pearson was sprawled on his back, almost half of his body inside the cage there.
So you had Pearson, who was just in his crease. Rourke Russell was trying to shove Gamer out of the crease because he was screening. And then Russell and Gamer just kind of get into it. They exchange shoves. They crash into Ludwig Pearson, who's knocked on his back in the net. That's when the shot came in. And that tussle, of course, continuing after the whistle. But no goal. Kirsten with it, far circle, left side feed, and Buddy just coughed it up, or else he would have had a wide open look at the net. Mahalik comes out of his own end with a puck. Phil Nyes, cross-ice look, right side over the line. Gilling will wave the icing off and Shield behind his net to play it. Nyes and Kirsten tie up for it, far half full of the Miami offensive zone. Kirsten emerges with a puck with 3:02 to go in the first. 4-1 North Dakota in this quarterfinal. Fighting Hawks will gulp this one all the way down the ice. Off the stick there of somebody. And an icing call here comes with, again, 3 minutes to go in the opening frame. One on the face-off coming here in the Miami offensive zone.
And nice to see the Fighting Hawks ice the puck against Miami. It's almost like they're scared of us.
2:56 to go in the first. Draw to the left of Shield. Quick shot on a face-off play there. You had Barbolini grab the face-off win, top of the near circle. And a quick shot in. It was into the breadbasket there of Shield with, again, 2:54 to go in the first.
And we're seeing up on our screen now North Dakota leading Miami 14-9 in faceoffs. I believe they're second in the country in faceoff percentage, 55%, winning 55% of their faceoffs on the year.
Crazy good in that department, always a leader in faceoffs.
And that's a sign of good coaching, I would say.
Yeah. RedHawks with a puck in the offensive zone. 2:40 to go in the opening period. North Dakota quickly works it out up the near wing boards. You got Gamer with it over the line on the left wing. We'll shovel this one down to the near corner. RedHawks will work it there. You got a penalty coming up on Miami's. Barry leveled Shane Pinto from behind. And Miami will go short-handed with 2:27 to go in the first. Puck came down to the corner. You had a battle about to ensue. Barry was behind Shane Pinto against the boards, and Barry gave him a nice two-hander to the back. And kind of from enough distance where it looked dangerous. Pinto's okay, but he was hit in a vulnerable position there. And North Dakota to another power play here late in the first.
Yeah, and a little bit of a dangerous play there by Matt Berry. Like Patrick said, shoved him into the boards from behind, and Pinto actually went headfirst into the glass there. Not something we want to see in today's game,
nope.
Especially from a skilled player like Matt Berry.
So the Fighting Hawks with it right after the power play opening draw in the near corner of their own zone is Kirsten for Kawaguchi. They only get it to Kirsten, but he will take it over the line, left wing. Pinto with a puck in the circle. High slot feed. With it is Kawaguchi's shot. Nice pat save left side of Pearson. Rebound kick back to the line, and North Dakota with it again. 90 seconds to go in the power play. Top of the near circle, Pinto plays it up high. Kierstead fires over for Kawaguchi. He was stripped there. Nice play over on the far side by the RedHawks to work it back in the North Dakota zone. Kierstead quickly up with it. Right wing, over the line coming is Pinto. Far half ball will hit the brakes. Kick it back here for Kierstead. 1:10 to go in the power play for North Dakota. Kierstead will fling this one toward the net. Took a weird bounce to the near corner. RedHawks can't work it out from there. Gamer sends it back to the line. Kawaguchi, middle of the ice for Kierstead. Near circle, Pinto. One touch, Adams the shot. And a nice pad save made by Pearson. The rebound all the way out to center ice. North Dakota regrips in their own end with 50 seconds to go in the power play. Yeah, 1:10 to go in the opening period. And his own end with it here is Sanderson. Kicks it back for Weatherby. Over the line on the right way comes Jasper Weatherby. Gets a drive to the net for the far corner. You got Pearson there to make the save. As Weatherby left him a little bit of a shot right next to the net. And Pearson with the cover up against the pad. 32 seconds to go in the power play. 58.3 to go in the first.
I'm seeing a little bit of an air of nonchalance here from this North Dakota power play. It's almost like they think this game is already over. Would love to see the RedHawks score one or two and get back in this one, make the Fighting Hawks really play for this one.
North Dakota wins his draw back to the left of Pearson at the line. Quick shot, Kawaguchi. Pearson made the save. Rebound kicked out to the near corner. Weatherby with it, left point. 20 to go on the power play. Kawaguchi near the blue line. Sanderson with it now, left point. Slides it right wing for Bernard Docker. Sanderson, middle of the blue line. Feeds it for Weatherby. High slot shot just wide of the net. Bernard Docker picks it up far corner. To the line for Sanderson. 4 to go on the power play. Weatherby. Far corner again. Dasky shoving against the boards there. North Dakota's fast. Power play's over. 22 to go in the period. Graham, left side feed. Over the line with it for Miami. There came Monty Graham. His play through the middle of the ice. Grabbed by Bernard Docker near corner. And he'll send this one behind the net for Sanderson. Quick forecheck though. Barry the center play in front. Nobody home though. And North Dakota will send that one to center ice. 3 seconds left. RedHawks trying to play this one up through the middle. North Dakota with it, and that will run the timeout in our first period. 4-1 North Dakota after 20 minutes. It was a high-flying first period for sure. And on offense, North Dakota had a 3-0 lead in this one. We were not even 6 minutes in yet, and the Fighting Hawks will close out the opening frame again with the 3-goal, 4-1 lead. Coming up next, Luke West Poley, the intermission report. In the studio here, he'll have your first period recap, stats, analysis, and more. That's again coming up next in this 4-1 hockey game, NCHC quarterfinal. We're back with the intermission in just a moment. Stay tuned. This is Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio.
Back inside our RedHawk Radio studios is the first intermission. The North Dakota Fighting Hawks leading Miami by a score of 4-1 after 20 minutes. It was a dominant offensive effort for the Fighting Hawks in that period. Let's take a look at a recap of the first period action. And the Fighting Hawks, wasted no time in getting on the board. Colin Adams cashing in off the feed from Jordan Kawaguchi just 14 seconds into the game. Then later, Louis Yamanik at 5:27 would also cash in for the Fighting Hawks. Brendan Beauty was credited with the third goal 9 seconds later after that one, and it's a horrific birthday present for Hampus Reichwist as that puck went off his skate off the rush. And once again, 2 goals in 9 seconds for the Fighting Hawks to take a 3-0 lead. All 3 of those goals were scored before the first TV timeout of the game, so the first 5 minutes were certainly dominated by North Dakota. Phil Nyes would cash in for Miami later in the period at the 11:14 mark and shoot a little crowd silencer to the rows of cardboard cutouts and the 2,000 Fighting Hawk faithful. But coming back right away on the Scott Corbett penalty for holding on the power play, Reese Gaber would score. Rourke Russell blocked the initial shot from Colin Adams, and the puck just sat in the slot, and he was able to put it into the back of the net, and that's where we stand now with North Dakota leading 4-1. Shots on goal in the first period, there were 20 for the Fighting Hawks, a tremendous effort for them offensively, 12 for the RedHawks. Attempts at the net, shots on goal were 17-10. And North Dakota 0 for 1 on the power play in that period. However, their first goal came right after that first penalty expired. So certainly that was what had affected it for the Fighting Hawks. North Dakota taking no penalties in the first 20 minutes. The face-off circle was dominated also by the Fighting Hawks. They lead in that category 17-10. Miami blocked 5 shots in the first period. And one of those, as mentioned before, off the chest of Rourke Russell ended up in the back of the RedHawks net. But nonetheless, the RedHawks with an uphill battle as they're going to have to climb their way back into this game in the last 40 minutes. Once again, 18 teams in action across 3 conferences in college hockey tonight. We'll look around the entire country, starting with the NCHC, as mentioned earlier today. A wild affair at Ralph Engelstad Arena as 8th-ranked St. Cloud dominated over Colorado College, but was only able to squeak out a 2-1 win, outshooting the Tigers in that game 44-7. Moving into the Atlantic Hockey Conference, AIC was supposed to play Bentley tonight. That game was canceled, so the Yellow Jackets are moving on to the semifinals. At the end of regulation, Niagara and Robert Morris are tied at 2. That game will head to overtime, and just going final, Canisius defeating RIT at the Harbor Center by a final of 5-2. Army also defeated Sacred Heart 4-0 earlier today. And in the final tournament for the historic Western Collegiate Hockey Association, the Minnesota State Mankato Mavericks knocked off the Ferris State Bulldogs 3-0 earlier today. Lake Superior with a dominant 6-1 win over Alabama Huntsville. That just went final. And the team up north at Slater Family Ice Arena, the 13th-ranked Bowling Green Falcons, are trying to claw their way back into it. We're down 4-2. They've since made it 4-3 against Northern Michigan. Minute 58 to go in regulation in that one. Also, 15th-ranked Bemidji State leads Michigan Tech 3-1 with 2:17 to go in the second. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with the rest of the intermission report. You're listening to the intermission. North Dakota leading Miami 4-1 on RedHawk Radio. Back inside the RedHawk Radio Broadcast Center, Luke West Poley alongside Jack Schmelzinger. And Jack, you watched that first period just like I did. North Dakota up 4-1. It was a bad start for the RedHawks. They kind of clawed their way back in terms of chances in the middle portion of that period, but that fourth goal was just a killer.
Yeah, and it was great to see Miami answer their show that they're not out of this game, but that fourth North Dakota goal has got to be really tough to take. You score your first one as Miami, and you feel like you're almost back into the game. Like we said, a 2-goal lead's not something that a lot of teams like to play with. But North Dakota coming back and scoring that fourth one is really big and really tough for Miami. Got to be demoralizing going into the first intermission.
So now I'll put you inside Chris Bergeron's shoes here. Your team's down 3 goals, and you got yourself back into that game, and now you're kind of back in the hole you were just in. What do you tell your team here to just try and get yourself back in it in the next 20 minutes?
Yeah, it's got to be tough. I think he has to be realistic with them. This isn't a North Dakota team that gives up a lot of goals. I think he's just got to tell them to play their game and see what happens. You never know. So play your game, try not to make too many mistakes, and see if we can get a couple good bounces and get back into the game.
And with a RedHawk team that struggled with offense all year, how do you put a puck into the back of the net against one of the top defenses, the top defense in the NCHC and one of the top defenses in all of college hockey?
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, especially with Adam Scheel being so hot, as hot as he is right now. Like we said earlier, in February, 96% save percentage, only 1.01 goals against average. So I think that they're going to have to hope for, not to use another baseball term again, but a bloop and a blast. One bad bounce, and it's a 2-goal game, and then a couple good shots, and you never know. They're right back in the game.
Absolutely. Adam Scheel, first-team All-NCHC selection, and really, really good backstop for the Fighting Hawks tonight. So let's flash back to that first Miami goal. What did you really like on that sequence, rather? Because the RedHawks kind of had some zone time. They cycled the puck a little bit, and eventually Phil Nyes just kind of found himself in the slot and was able to put it past Scheel.
Yeah, and like you said, they were cycling the puck for a little bit. It was really great patience. Casey Gilling was down below the net and was able to wait out the North Dakota defenseman and find Phil Nyes right in the slot. So I really love the patience there, and a great job by Phil Nyes to finish that one off too.
So now flipping things over to the defensive side of the puck, you've given up 4 goals in a period here. You've got a goaltender that his confidence is kind of in a place that we don't know right now. What do you got to do in the defensive zone for the RedHawks to make sure that they don't give up another goal, which could definitely be the dagger?
Yeah, I really like what you said about Ludwig Pearson. He's a freshman. You have to imagine that he's not feeling the most confident right now, having just given up 4 goals to the best team in the country, second best rather. But so I think you really need to make his life easy out there. Limit the Fighting Hawks' chances from the slot, try to get them to stay outside. And we've seen this entire game. I mean, they're just an offensively explosive team, really dangerous. They have the puck on a string, especially on the power play. So just really try to make them uncomfortable, fly out to pucks when they get the puck. And definitely want to stay out of the box here because we've seen how dangerous their power play can be. Even though they didn't score on that last one, I think they probably had 4 or 5 shots. So definitely try to make Ludwig Pearson's life easy, keep the puck to the outside of the zone, and stay out of the box.
Absolutely. So now flipping things over, we got you in Brad Berry's shoes now. His team's up 3 goals. I mean, they're looking as explosive as ever, but you still got 40 minutes left to play. What do you tell your team here? you mentioned later in that period they felt a little bit lackadaisical at times. I thought that they really weren't pressing as hard as they were at certain points. What do you do if you're Brad Berry trying to really, stir up your team to continue to keep the foot on the gas?
Yeah, I think that you just have to tell them, Miami, you're up 3 goals against Miami, and they were one of the worst teams in the conference, but they're still a college hockey team, Division I, and they've got talented players. They could come back, score 2 or 3 goals in the matter of minutes. So you really just have to tell them to stay in the game, and I think that they'll probably put a focus on, just getting some work in for these next, potentially the semifinal and the final, and then on to the NCAAs, where they're going to be playing even more of the best teams in the country. So I would be reminding them that Miami is still a college hockey team, still a team that can put up points on the board, and making sure that they are playing to prepare for the next games, of which there will likely be many for North Dakota.
Jack Schmelzinger, always a pleasure to have you here on the Miami Intermission Report. Miami down 4-1 here, and just about 4 minutes to go in the intermission. So until then, we'll send you to break, and when we come back, Patrick Geshan will have the call of the next 20 minutes. We'll see you after the second period. North Dakota leading Miami 4-1. This is Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio.
Warma.
Patrick Geshan, Jack Schmelzinger back with you here in the RedHawk Radio Broadcast Center ahead of our second period action between Miami and North Dakota. We're underway. Back in the second, it's 4-1. The Fighting Hawks lead. Glad you're with us tonight right here on RedHawk Radio. Quick early chance for the Fighting Hawks is coming down the right wing with Sen, and he sent the puck over the top left corner of the net, and the RedHawks will chop this one out to center ice.
Man, I just got some unpleasant flashbacks to the first period there.
Yeah. And this 4-1 North Dakota lead. Phil Nye's with it behind the Miami offensive net. Ben Lau on the right side, feet to the point. Clement cross ice over on the left side is Dashke. And his shot took a weird deflection up and out of play off the North Dakota stick that was in the near circle.
And once again, good to see Miami getting some offensive zone time. It was only 15 seconds or so, but we get another offensive zone draw here for them. And good to see them having a few chances to get it back in this game.
34 seconds here into the second period. After a offensive zone win in the defensive end of the ice for North Dakota, they clear this one out into a bench, and so the draw coming right back there with 19:22 to go here in the second period. Patrick Geshan, Jack Schmelzinger with you here. The RedHawk Radio Broadcast Center in Oxford. Game action in North Dakota at Ralph Engelstad Arena in Grand Forks. Luke Poley with us as well. All right, North Dakota with a puck out of the zone. Back over the line, the left wing. Gamer shoved off there by Barry, and a feed in the middle was picked off by Barbolini. Will fire this one ahead, middle of the ice. Chipping it over the middle of the line was Olmstead. Copped it up. Back to the way with it is Gamer. He'll toss this one over. Caulfield trying to dance his way through the slot. Taken over there by the RedHawks, and Olmstead will golf this one to center ice. Barry's on it. Over the line on the left wing. Fed it there past Barbolini. Gamer takes over. North Dakota this season 10-0-0 and leading after the first period of play. Gamer spin around play to the circle, trying to hit Pinto with a pass. Nice job by Cassetti to break that one up. Send it to the corner. And you got Drasser with it here behind the Miami net. Will spin around and get away. A nice footwork there from Shane Pinto. Playing through center ice. RedHawks chop it over the line on the right wing. Get it into the North Dakota zone. Drasser keeps in a clearing attempt momentarily with his glove. Fighting Hawks with it. Left side of the ice. There's a weak shot that came in there by the Fighting Hawks to the left wing. They'll clear this one back around the near half wall. Win it here. Scanning down the right side is Mark Senden. He was tripped up. We got a call coming here, I believe. As someone, I don't know exactly whom, by the RedHawks got their stick in Senden's way when he was trying to skate back up high in the zone. And an early power play coming here in North Dakota in the second with 18:04 to go in the period. And the Fighting Hawks are already leading 4-1. Cassetti, 2 minutes for tripping.
And yeah, it looks like he just got his stick tangled up there with, actually it might have been his foot with Weatherby, I believe. And a tough way to start the period for the RedHawks.
Kierstead with it, right point, North Dakota offensive zone, skates it middle of the blue line, feed near wing for Kawaguchi, returns to Kierstead, near circle, Colin Adams, spin around play in front there by Gaber, and it's played back to the left point. Kierstead crosses his feet over near circle for Kawaguchi. They toss this one back high in the zone. North Dakota controls at the line with 1:37 to go on the power play. Kierstead for Kawaguchi, middle of the ice for North Dakota, quick play, the one-touch pass over, and unable to finish there. For the Fighting Hawks, right in front was Colin Adams. Puck is kicked back to center and a good chance. They're quickly over the line again. Kawaguchi, spin around play behind the net, coughed it up. North Dakota near circle, can't get another attempt at the puck. And you got Graham at the end boards, will not be able to clear, sent it right at Kierstead, who was the only guy in the line. He'll try a fancy drop pass that went behind Pinto out of the zone, and North Dakota with it in their own end. Pinto through center ice over the RedHawk line, was stopped there and sent back down the wing by Daschke into the North Dakota zone. Shield out of his net, left wing feed, it's Pinto at the red line. He's in over the line, we'll feed this one over, near side play for Caulfield, who copped it up there. And it's back behind the net as Weatherby and Drasser will kind of tie up for it here. You get Daschke tied up with Weatherby as well. Right there against the end boards with 38 to go in the North Dakota power play. 16:38 to go in the second. Battle ensues and continues. You got a 3-on-3 battle. Puck finally squirts out from below the goal line. Bernard Docker, North Dakota offensive zone in the corner. Plays it behind the net. Weatherby chases it to the far side. Gets it to the left point here for Sanderson. Playing out of the far side for Senden. Senden with it in front. Caulfield, one-touch chance. Pearson there with the pads. And the puck squirts to the near corner where Drasser picks it up for the RedHawks right wing feed. And it's cleared all the way down the ice by Ben Lown with 4 seconds left in the North Dakota power play. And they've killed it off. And we're back to 5-on-5, 4 minutes into the second. Bernard Docker, right side of the red line at center ice. Will dump this one in behind the net. Russell, the far side feed, trying to shovel it out there was Mahalik. He's able to work it back to center ice, and North Dakota with it back down the wing. Here comes Caulfield, or Sanderson rather, in over the line on the far side. Fed it middle. Puck was bouncing in behind the net, and coming away with it here up the side of the cage is Matt Berry. Over the line here on the left side. Will make a centering feed on the backhand. It was kicked to the corner. And back to the way, here comes North Dakota. They're over the line, middle of the ice. With it here in the near circle, offensive zone. That's Kierstead. Fed it to Bast. Getting Bast coming out of the near corner of his zone. And a little centering feed there. It was chipped up in front of Pearson. He makes the cover with his glove. 15-18 to go in the second. Remains 4-1 North Dakota.
And it almost seems like North Dakota's on the power play at all times. I mean, Miami in their defensive zone, they're playing. It's not passive, but it's not aggressive either. They're not running after the puck, and it really almost looks like they're on the power or on the penalty kill, and you can see why, because North Dakota just has the puck on a string.
Right. Shots are 18-10 in favor of the Fighting Hawks. Bass, right side of the red line, will lift this one into the Miami zone. Near corner, picking it up. His capstick will spin it around the board to the far side. Taken over there by Kawaguchi from North Dakota. And they'll send it deep in the zone. Near half wall, RedHawks with the puck. They'll shovel it out. Back to center ice. And now Gabe Bass, right wing at the red line, trying to play it forward. You got Corbett there in the way of it. Through center ice. And over the line on the left wing comes Ryan Savage. He'll hit the brakes at the near half wall. Trying to dance his way through the circle. Adams broke up the play. And he's with it back down the ice. North Dakota 3-on-2 the other way. They'll dish it back. Caulfield a rip on the top of the far circle. Nice save there by Pearson to get his chest on it. 1-on-1 the other way. I got Cassetti trailing toward the left wing in the offensive zone. We'll get a wrist shot there. Nice save by Shield. Got his chest on the puck. And North Dakota works this way back out of the zone through center ice. Kirsten over the Miami line on the left wing. Hits the brakes as he made a spin around move in the far circle. Will lift this one back behind the net. With it there is Pinto locked up behind the cage with Derek Dasky. Pinto up the near half wall. Feeds it to the line. Nice slap shot there by Frisch. Was blocked down by him. And it's back up the near wing. Over the line with it is Pletzky. And he was offside. Never mind, Dasky was offside. As Dasky with him on the rush, a late addition to it, coming up the right wing, but he jumped the line before the puck. 13:59 to go in the second, 4-1 North Dakota in this NCHC quarterfinal. You're listening to Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio. Back to action in North Dakota. 13:43 to go in the second. Patrick Geshan, Jack Schmelzinger back with you here on RedHawk Radio. And this 4-1 lead for the Fighting Hawks. Got North Dakota on the puck in their offensive end. Jake Sanderson plays it up the right wing boards, and Pinto spins it around to the far corner where Gamer grabs control. He tied up there with Casey Gilling. Gamer still with the puck. Gilling will tie him up again. North Dakota continues with it in the offensive end. Left point is shot by Sanderson. Just trickled wide of the net. With it here along the near wing is Phil Nyes. You got Gamer in the area as well. We'll spin this one back behind the Miami net. And without pressure, Dasky coming out of his far corner feeds it right wing, but copped up at center ice. And North Dakota will work this one ahead. Over the line, left wing. A quick look there and a snapshot that came off the stick of Cooper Moore. Extra defenseman joining the rush. And with 13:01 to go in the second, still remains a 4-1 North Dakota lead. So we have yet to see a goal scored in the second period by either squad. North Dakota, the shot lead at 20-11. Pearson has really been standing tall, though, in this one. For sure, Jack, wouldn't you say? Even though it's a 4-1 game?
Yeah, absolutely. He's faced 20 shots already in a period, less than a period and a half. And these aren't low-chance shots either. These are really good shots coming from a lot of NHL draft picks. So a great job so far by the freshman netminder.
Yep. Miami with the puck here in the offensive zone. Barbolini is with it. Will get tripped up coming through center ice. No call to play on. Over the line left wing for North Dakota with the puck was Gavin Hain. He'll ride this one down through the corner and in behind the net. Grabbing it there was Weatherby. Tossed it over for Jurassic on the turnover with 12.5 to go here in the second. Spun around in the near corner. Bast fires this one up high. Hanging to the left point. A shot in there was wide of the net after it came off the stick of Cooper Moore, and it deflects up and out of play with 12:22 to go in the second, and the faceoff coming back in the North Dakota offensive zone.
And North Dakota rapidly pulling away, and shots on net. It was 8-8 at one point. Now it's 21-2 in North Dakota's favor. So not only are they pulling away on the scoreboard, but in the shots category.
Just keep in mind, too, North Dakota first in the league in 5-on-5 scoring with 63 5-on-5 goals this year. They have the puck, offensive zone below the goal line. With it here is Corbett in the near corner for the RedHawks. Takes it behind the net, near wing feed for Capstick. Fires it up the wing and up the right side. With the puck is Reichquist. Tips it in over the line, in on net with the puck was Shield. RedHawks with it here in the near corner. Capstick playing it down low there to Cassetti. He'll take it behind the net. Frisch tied him up, stole the puck away. And RedHawks are down there in the far half wall. North Dakota able to steal this one away and give it back to Miami in their own end. Capstick feeds it through the middle of center ice. Yeah, Cassetti with it there for a second at the UND line. He lost it. Puck now in the North Dakota zone. Platsky came in and stole it away after it was loose. Kierstead will rescue that. And fired around the boards for behind the net. Up to the far half wall, North Dakota. A lot of trouble getting on their own end here in this possession. Miami again, a turnover high in the zone. They feed it down through the circle. Sladek hit hard against the boards there by Kierstead. He's got his bell rung. RedHawks still with the puck. Right point, Clement near circle. Sladek, a great shot there. But an even better save by Shield to stretch out his glove over the left pad and stop Sladek's goal attempt. With 11:14 to go here in the second.
Really good shot placement from Sladek there. He caught the puck on the near circle and fired it short side on Shield. And that's a really hard puck for a goalie to stop, and a really good job by Shield to get his glove on that one.
11 saves on 12 shots tonight for Adam Shield. Drop coming up to his right in the UND zone. Playing to the far corner. Game pass on it for North Dakota. Can't work it out up the boards. Monty Graham spin around play to keep this one in, and it returns its way high in the zone. North Dakota able to shove this one out. And it's at the left wing at the red line for the Fighting Hawks. Kawaguchi for Colin Adams will chip this one ahead. 2-on-2. Adams near circle. Clevin, the bouncing puck, cannot get his stick on it. He was leveled below the goal line by Monty Graham. Clevin slow to get up. They blew the whistle immediately. I don't think we have a penalty on this play, but with 10:47 to go in the second, yet Monty Graham be the most physical I've ever seen him be in his career.
Yeah, and you wonder if that's the frustration coming through, being down 4-1 in what is probably the last game of the season. But an ugly play there as Tyler Cleveland hit the boards really hard, head and neck first, and really glad to see that he was able to get up and get back to the bench. And he's not currently being tended to, so glad to see he's okay.
Yep. Monty Graham, the junior, out of Hanover, Massachusetts. So RedHawks win the neutralized draw. They take in their own end. Right way feed by Jarasser. Carries this one over behind the North Dakota net. And you got Shield will spin this one around the boards to the far side. RedHawks working out back to center. And in their own end, an icing call actually here against North Dakota. They must have got control of it behind the red line and fired it down the ice. And the draw coming here in the Miami offensive zone with 10.5 to go in the second. Remains a 4-1 North Dakota lead. Faceoffs led by the Fighting Hawks, 25-12. And Jack Schmelzinger shaking his head at that. Kawaguchi with a near half wall North Dakota zone. Up the wing, over the line, right side, Colin Adams. With the puck skating through the corner, back behind the net. Leaves it there, and here comes Kawaguchi spinning around the near side with it. The shot, Bernard Tucker from the line will score. Traffic in front. Pearson definitely was screened. And with 10:10 to go in the second, North Dakota 5, Miami 1. 14th of the year for Jacob Bernard Tucker, the Senators draft pick.
Yeah, and what a lethal shot from the former first-round pick. Way up, almost at the NCHC logo, right at the blue line there, right in the middle of the ice. And a slap shot one-timer, and I'm not sure that Pearson ever even saw it, but That was a really hard shot, and it would have been hard for him to stop even if he did. A really electric shot there from the former first-rounder Jacob Bernard.
Only his third goal of the year. 14th goal of the year. The graphic they showed said it was his third goal of the year on TV, but for Jacob Bernard Docker, number 14, and it gives North Dakota the 5-1 lead with 10:10 to go in the second. A little delay here. The scores table was stopping for a moment, but I guess the video replay cleared.
And once again, they say it's his third goal of the year. I'm not too sure what the problem there is.
So the puck back in the Miami zone. They'll work it out to center ice, give it right back to the Fighting Hawks. And with it here, coming through the circle is Alcoholic. Right side, top of the far circle. Fed it just wide of the net on Shield. And the puck will work back to the near wing, and Caulfield skates it out for North Dakota. Over the line, left wing. Quick 2-on-1 developing across ice. Vienna Gamer was shut down there by Pearson, sliding through his crease. What a great play by Pearson to shut down the attempt. North Dakota with it through center ice. Caulfield over the line, right wing comes Pinto. He'll try to dance his way through the circle. Backhand shot, rebound. Nice save there by Pearson. That's like Pinto just dancing through the legs, dangling through Alec Mahalik.
Yeah, and what a move. No knock on Miami, but I don't think that they have anyone on their team who can make a move like that to get around a defender.
9:09 to go in the second. Puck in the Miami offensive zone. Sendin will rim this one around the boards far side. Kept in right point by Clement momentarily until it's poked out to center ice. And back to the wake of the Fighting Hawks. Weatherby centering play in front and almost batting it out of midair. That it for North Dakota was Gavin Hain, but just sent it wide to the left post. As the puck in midair, he kind of took a swing at it and whacked it wide to Pearson.
Yeah, and he just absolutely outclassed the Miami defenseman in the race to the net there. Started behind him and ended up beating him to the crease.
Puck behind the North Dakota net. Shield rims it around the left point. RedHawks grab it there as Pletzky, the backhand shovel to the far circle. Grabbed by North Dakota. Hain tried to send it out. Blocking down the clearing attempt was Robbie Drasner. Now Hain will skate it out for North Dakota, left wing at center. And the dump in behind the net for Pearson. And will stop it for Russell. Russell spins it around to the far corner. Drasner in the pitching wedge out of the zone is center ice. With it there was Bernard Docker for North Dakota. Now it is Tyler Clevin. Feeds it middle of the ice and out of the zone with it is Bass. Quick exit pass. He got it to the middle of the ice there for Janrik. And Miami will work it after a turnover by him in their own end. Plonsky right wing feed over the line with it is Sladek. North Dakota, no, Miami was offside there. You had Sladek and Graham coming in the zone chasing after the puck, and I believe one of them was in the zone before the puck. They call an offside on the RedHawks as they were chasing through on the delayed call. Nonetheless, 7:49 remains in the second for Grand Forks. North Dakota 5, Miami 1 in this quarterfinal. This is Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio. Patrick Geshan, Jack Schmelzinger back with you here in the RedHawk Radio Broadcast Center in Oxford. Game action occurring at Grand Forks at Ralph Engelstad Arena. North Dakota 5, Miami 1, this NCHC quarterfinal. Glad you're with us on this Friday night. Fighting Hawks in the middle frame of the game here, middle stages of it. You got Ethan Frisch near corner of the offensive zone for North Dakota. Works this one out to center ice. And with it in his own end for the Fighting Hawks is Jake Sanderson. Sanderson feeds in the middle of the ice. Played ahead there by Kawaguchi and behind the net. Pearson will rim this one around to the near corner. Capstick works it back to center ice. And North Dakota will regroup there. Colin Adams gives it ahead for Alec Mahalik. Give it a go feed with Capstick. Mahalik with it right wing. Feeds it through the middle of the ice. Olmstead, left side feed for a shot in there by Barry from the circle. And Shield is out to make the easy breadbasket save with 6:55 to go in the second. And a fun fact, Jack, North Dakota's never won the NCHC playoff title in the history of the league, if you can believe that.
That's crazy.
A chance to do it on their home ice this year.
And that would be fitting. It's almost like a Cinderella story.
Our Docker near wing feed for Caulfield. North Dakota works it out of their own zone after the face-off. Pinto through the middle of the ice. Far side feed, Kierstead to the middle. And you had Gamer there that was able to get his stick on the puck as it was played through the middle of the ice. Here's Circle RedHawks working around in their end. Clement, far side feed with it there. A shove off the puck. Pletzky was. Pinto will love this one ahead for Kierstead. Wrapped here by Gamer over the line of the left wing. He'll hit the brakes at the half wall. Shoved off the puck there by Matt Barry. Playing to the line. Kierstead has it. Quick play in. And a nice glove save there by Pearson. Saw that one through about 7 people on its way to the net. And the stoppage comes with 6:19 left in the second.
Yeah, a ton of traffic there for North Dakota, and a really great job by Pearson to see through that, like you said. And part of what we said about making his life easier before this period started, a big part of that is clearing out the front of that net, making sure he has a good sight line to every puck. And I would love to see Miami start doing that a little bit better here in this last 26 minutes of game time.
Still time to make noise if you're the RedHawks. Plenty of it. Face off here to the right of Pearson. North Dakota controls of the offensive zone. Weatherby behind the net, works it around to the left point. Coming out of the zone there. North Dakota unable to keep it in as Hayne chases back in his own end here for the Fighting Hawks. Leaves it down low. Near wing feed to the corner. Worked up the wing on the right side. North Dakota as Hayne will chase this one to the near corner. It's the brakes there at the half wall. Played at middle. It's out of the reach of Sendin. And the RedHawks work this one up through the middle of the ice. Cassetti over the line. Will get to the top of the near circle. Fire a shot wide on the ice of Shield. Coming in there for a slapper by Clement. Right point that went well wide and high of the cage. RedHawks get an offensive zone change here with 5.5 to go in the second. North Dakota works it out with that opportunity. Weatherby up the left wing, reaches the red line, then he's met by the RedHawks who will steal it away. Bonnie Grant feeds it back in his own end. And with it here for Miami is Alec Capstick. Back for Graham, left wing feed at center ice. Chipped into the zone there by Dashke. With a near corner, set down low by North Dakota's Blasdell. Now it's grabbed behind the net by Sladek. Feeds to left point. With it here is Capstick. He will fire this one in on net, but Blasdell immediately blocked it down with his stick, and they're back to the way. 3-on-2 North Dakota. High in the zone. Yonerick copped it up, gave it right around to Chase Pletzky. 2-on-1 Miami. Pletzky right side, killing the shot. Wide of the net on the 2-on-1 as Pletzky coming down the left wing. After that, the puck kicked back to center and in Miami's end. Clement right side. T&D feed, middle of the ice with it. Is Dashke, the play forward. Chipped into the near corner by Phil Nyes. Frisch off the high glass, taken again by Phil Nyes. Played it through the circle. And he got Frisch with the puck now as he gave it up for Kawaguchi behind the UND net. High in the zone is Gilling. Left wing feed at the point. Dashke. Gilling slides the right side of the circle. Clement center. He played. Delano was knocked off his feet. Gilling picked up the loose puck. A slap shot immediately blocked. Kawaguchi up the right wing for North Dakota. Near circle offensive zone. He'll hit the brakes. Uses his body to protect the puck. Feeds it up for Kierstead. A blast there. Nice blocker save made by Pearson. And the RedHawks work it out through center ice. Nice over the UND line left wing. Will hit the brakes. Chip it down to the corner. With it there, Sanderson will just wait behind the North Dakota net. Up the far side with it. Near wing feed. North Dakota over the RedHawk line. He had Buddy, who played it back to the middle of the ice. North Dakota now will backhand this one in behind the cage. And Russell has it for Miami. The right wing for Olmstead. This one played back to the far corner. The North Dakota zone. Bernard Docker will rim this one around to the near side for Sendin. And he'll lock up against the near wing half wall with Russell in the Miami offensive zone. 3:18 to go here in the second. 5-1 North Dakota. Bernard Docker will get it out of the UND zone. Actually, his clearing attempt went into the Miami bench up the right wing. And we'll get a stoppage here With just over 3 minutes to go in the second period, North Dakota 5, Miami 1 in this NCHC quarterfinal. We're back in a moment. This is Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio.
Luke West Poley back with you here inside our RedHawk Radio studios. Coming up in just a moment, we'll have the second intermission report. I'll be joined by our color guy, Jack Schmelzinger. We'll talk about what happened here in this second period of play. But for now, let's send it back to Patrick Geshan. He'll have the call for the rest of this second period.
Thank you, Luke. At 3:06 to go in that second period, 5-1, North Dakota the lead in Grand Forks on their home ice. They ice it after the neutralized draw. All the way down up the left wing past Pearson, and the RedHawks get an offensive zone draw here. Just over 3 to go in the second. What do you do if you're Miami right now?
Like you just said, you know, they've got a lot of time to make a lot of noise, and you're not. I mean, I don't think any of us expect them to win this game, but you'd love, especially for the returning players, you'd love to be able to show head coach Chris Bergeron the kind of things you can bring starting next year.
RedHawks score after a left-point shot that came in. Somebody poked it in front of the net through traffic, and it slid under the pads of Shield. I didn't mean to jinx it or anything. I think Rourke Russell's going to get this goal. 2:58 to go in the second. We got a 3-goal hockey game at 5-2 North Dakota. And Russell is going to get credit as this shot came in from the left point. Shield just coughed it up himself, went off his blocker, went below him, threw it in the net below his pads.
Good to see Rourke Russell get rewarded after that tough block earlier in the first period. He was shaken up after that one, and glad to see he's back on the ice, putting shots on net. And when you do that, even against one of the best teams in the country and one of the best goaltenders in the country, good things will happen.
Third of the year for Rourke Russell, his 4th point of the year. 28th career point for the senior in Long Beach, California. So again, that was all Shield. Nobody did poke it in front of the net. Russell's shot just came in. Shield got his blocker on it and went to the ice from there. He sat on top of the puck, and then it went behind him, and he knocked it in behind himself with his pad.
And I can tell you right now, if they score one more, North Dakota's going to be getting nervous, and that is a good way to make some noise, make the number 2 team in the country a little bit nervous going into the third period.
So you got that third line out there right now for the RedHawks. Monty Graham was in a tussle far side as Miami trying to go into the offensive zone up the right wing. He was in a shoving match with North Dakota's Tyler Clevin. I think they're going to take them both to the box here. As Graham and Clevin just shoving each other away from the puck in the play. We'll see how they call it. Two minutes each for roughing with 2:46 to go in the second, so I believe it'll be 4-on-4.
Yep, 4-on-4 like you said. And even though those penalties are coincidental and both teams are going to the box, I would definitely say advantage North Dakota on this 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. They're a much faster team with a lot more skill, and there's more ice to work with. So definitely advantage North Dakota here in this 4-on-4 situation, I would say.
RedHawks get the offensive zone draw, though. Ben Loud coming up the half wall spin. This one around through the circle, grabbing it there was Killing. Far side feed, a rip by Pletzky. Goes to the far corner. You get Kawaguchi with a puck here after the RedHawks kind of lapse in the pressure. Birch with it over the line on the right wing for North Dakota. The toss back for Kawaguchi in the slot. And his 4-on-4 chance. RedHawks knock it free from him through center ice. Feed to the middle. Breakaway for Dasky on Cole, and he shot it. The nice blocker save left side of Shield, his body. His snapshot came in there for Dasky, and the blocker kicked the puck to the near corner. North Dakota works it out here. Over the line, middle of the ice. Kawaguchi tosses back with a puck. This shot went through. Pearson wide of the net. Adams picked it up behind the cage, leaves it there for Robbie Drasner. 1:07 left in 4-on-4, 1:50 to go in the second. Barbolini, offensive zone, right circle, a little feed over there. Barry's shot got shouldered away by Shield and went off his body, up and out of play. 59 to go in 4-on-4, 1:44 to go in the second.
We see a couple of dangerous shots there by Miami, and they're actually catching back up in the shots department. It's only 28-19 now in favor of North Dakota, and an 11, or a 9 rather,
right.
Not a math major. A 9-shot difference going into the third period. I think any team in the country, not any team, but a lot of teams in the country would take that against North Dakota.
Draw to Shields left. RedHawks working back to the line. Russell with it, top of the near circle. His shot through traffic went to the corner. Cassetti tying up there with Bernard Docker as the puck works its way up the wing. Now Bernard Docker with it behind the net here with 1:30 left in the second. 90 seconds to go in the period and 40 left in 4-on-4 time. Bernard Docker near wing feed at center ice. Gamer picks it up, skates it across the ice diagonally. You got Kierstead coming through the left wing into the offensive zone. Reaches the near corner, win the puck, and skates it up toward the point, taking a tour of the zone. Middle of the ice with it. In the circle for North Dakota. I believe that is number 17, Reese Gamer. It is, as he's skating across the ice now, neutral zone. 14 to go in 4-on-4, a minute left here in the second. Kierstead over the line right wing for North Dakota into the offensive zone. Pulled up there, but shot it to the middle of the ice as Bernard Docker will take the loose puck now back into zone end for the Fighting Hawks. And feed it left wing as 4-on-4 time is over. We're back to 5-on-5. Players escape from the box. RedHawks with it. Middle of the ice. Center ice. Trasner. Right side field. Little rush the other way. Gillen got a feed middle there from the circle. I think it was Sladek coming down the right wing. North Dakota steals it away. They're back to the offensive zone. Sending with a puck. Right point. We'll send this one to the near corner. Kawaguchi on it there for North Dakota. Works his way up the wing. Right side played in by Caulfield. You got a Weatherby with it. Far corner here for the Fighting Hawks. Tied up with Clement. Spin around shot just wide of the net. Weatherby will play this one again in front. Penalty coming up on the RedHawks. Trasner tied up his man coming down the middle of the ice to prevent a one-time goal opportunity. I think that was number 19, Mark Senden, who was tied up by Trasner as they came down the middle of the ice, and that's in fact what happened. Trasner hooked him right in the arms where Senden grabs the stick, and we got, it might be maybe a little bit more here than just 2 minutes. You got the referee, Nick Kretzbach, talking to the penalty box right now. He never announced a call. 7.5 seconds left in the second. It's a 2-minute power play for North Dakota. You get Gilling in the box and Trasner.
And I'm not sure what that could be for. He didn't get his stick up near his head. It was just up in the hands of the North Dakota player.
Maybe a misconduct. Trasner was arguing the call after the play. I did hear a whistle in the background when they were showing the replay. Could be a 10-minute misconduct against Trasner for arguing the call if it was a strong enough, forceful argument, whatever. RedHawks clear it right after the draw in their own zone. That's going to run out the time here in the second. And North Dakota will begin the third period with 1 minute and 53 seconds of power play time, up 5-2 in this NCHC quarterfinal. So we'll get everything sorted out here with the Trasner situation. The bottom line, North Dakota to the power play, and a large portion of it on fresh ice as we begin the third. Coming up next, Luke West Poley, your intermission report here inside the RedHawk Radio Broadcast Center. Get you all caught up on what's going around the world of college hockey, as well as second period stats, highlights, analysis, and more. We're back with you in a moment. This is Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio.
Luke West Poley back inside our RedHawk Radio studios. North Dakota leading Miami 5-2 after 40 minutes. 2 goals were scored, one by each team in that second frame. And the recap of second period action. The first goal coming 9:50 into the second period. Jacob Bernard Docker with a point shot through traffic that Ludwig Pearson could not see. It's his 14th goal of the year. That would put North Dakota up 5-1. And then later, just coming right out of the media timeout, Rourke Russell had a point shot that Adam Scheel had initially saved with the blocker, and it just kind of rolled over his shoulder, hit off the back of his pad, and found its way into the back of the net. So a good bounce for Miami as they cut the lead back to 3, and that is where we stand after 2 periods. Let's take a look at the stats in that second period. 12 shots rather for North Dakota, 9 for Miami. Most of those for the RedHawks coming in the second half of that period. The 2-period total in shots for both these teams, 29 for the Fighting Hawks, 19 for Miami. North Dakota 0 for 4 on the power play thus far in this game. They will start period number 3 on the power play. And we had a situation towards the end of that period with Robbie Drasner going to the box for hooking and, some additional chatter between the officials and the off-ice officials. It was determined that Casey Gilling would be getting a 10-minute misconduct on that play for arguing a call. He was in the box, so he will receive the misconduct. Drasner will have the 2. North Dakota will start the next period on the power play, looking to cash in their first strike, currently sitting at 0 for 4. Miami taking 6 penalties in this game. North Dakota continues to dominate the face-off circle. 30-18 is the current count in that. Miami blocking 9 shots in the game compared to North Dakota's 4. And something that's been big also, we already mentioned the penalties. The penalty minutes, 20 for Miami and just 2 for North Dakota through 40 minutes. Miami spending a lot of time in the box, and that's been killer for them as they find themselves down 3 goals. Couple big nights for some North Dakota players, and it all starts with Colin Adams. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists thus far for 4 points, and Jordan Kawaguchi, no goals and 3 assists, got close to getting a goal earlier in that first period, but it was determined the puck went off the skate of Hampus Ryquist instead, so he was just given an assist on that tally. But nonetheless, a big night for Jordan Kawaguchi, and he's the captain of the team that leads by 3 after 2 periods. So we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll bring on our color analyst, Jack Schmelzinger, once again, and we'll talk about what happened in the last 20-minute frame. So until then, this is Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio. Back here in our RedHawk Radio studios and the Miami Hockey Intermission Report. Luke West-Poley alongside Jack Schmelzinger. We're going to take a quick look at our out-of-town scoreboard for tonight. Our game currently sitting at 5-2 in favor of the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. The other couple of games that have gone final since the last intermission, number 15, Bemidji State knocking off Michigan Tech in WCHA tournament action 3-1, and Northern Michigan holding on against Bowling Green at Slater Family Ice Arena. 4-3 was the final there, and both those teams will move on. So, Jack, we're back for period number 2. It was an even period on the scoreboard. What did you notice that the RedHawks did to keep that period at a 1-1 tally?
I think that they did a really good job, like we were saying in the first intermission, making Ludwig Pearson's life a little bit easier than it was in that first period. Now, it was by no means easy for him. I mean, this is still the number 2 team in the nation, and they're electric offensively, but the RedHawks did a good job keeping the puck to the outside of the zone and limiting shots from the slot in high-danger areas, which definitely made for a better second period than the first period we saw.
And with just a 3-goal lead, it was cut late in the period off the goal by senior Rourke Russell off a bit of a fluke. It kind of bounced off Adam Scheel a little bit weird, and the puck kind of rolled its way into the back of the net. But that goal's enough to make someone think, I mean, what if this game is now a 3-goal instead of a 4-goal? And, I mean, it's certainly been done before.
Absolutely, and it was definitely a fluky goal, but that's the best you can hope for sometimes against teams like North Dakota and goalies like Adam Scheel. And like you said, you know, another fluke and a good shot, and it's a 5-4 game, and then who knows what happens from there. So by no means is it likely that Miami's going to come back in this one, but like we've been saying this whole time, they could make some noise, and you never know what happens once you start putting pucks on net.
Yes, certainly. With your season on the line and nothing really to lose, this last-ditch effort in the final 20 minutes for the RedHawks is going to be interesting to see how they will come out. So if the RedHawks do want to come back and tie this game, what are you looking for, especially in the first 5 minutes or so from them, if they're going to want to come back and tie this game up at 5?
Yeah, like we were saying in the last period, definitely going to have to keep North Dakota at 5. Going to want to, like we said, play strong defensive hockey in front of Ludwig Pearson. And they're going to need to score a goal early to get back in this one. And it'll be definitely interesting to see if they can do that. I would love to see these guys come out flying. You know, it's the last game. It's probably the last game for this group of seniors. And it'd be great to see them come out flying and their teammates who are still going to be back next year to come out playing really hard for their teammates who this is their last collegiate hockey game most likely.
And is there anyone looking up and down Miami's roster in particular that you'd like to see step up and try to juice some life into the RedHawks here early in this third?
I think some seniors, it would be awesome to see some seniors make some big plays. Casey Gilling is a guy who comes to mind, although he's in the box for the beginning of the period. Ben Lown coming off an injury, it would be great to see him make some noise. And some freshmen who have been injecting life into this team the entire year, like Matthew Barbolini and Robbie Drasner. It'd be great to see them. Get the guys going early and have a chance at getting back in this game.
I'll tell you something I've noticed a little bit, Jack, is that line that's listed as the 4th line for the RedHawks, that of Pletsky and Sladek on the wings, centered by Monty Graham's been pretty good thus far. And you know, while it's not a true checking line, that's not really much of a thing in hockey anymore. You can trust those guys to really forecheck hard and grind things out. And, you know, is that something that you think the rest of the lines need to learn from, or is that something that you think Chris Bergeron needs to, you know, put those guys out on the ice more or something like that? Because that's certainly, you know, a momentum line for the RedHawks.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. You know, in today's game, the checking line's a little bit of an antiquated thing, but really, if there is one, it's that line with Pletsky, Graham, and Sladek. They dump the puck in and they go hard on the other team's defense. And North Dakota, I'm sure, is not happy to see them when they get out on the ice. And I definitely would love to see them get some more shifts this period. They're not the most explosive offensive players, but Miami really doesn't have anyone explosive enough to hang with North Dakota. So the guys who are going to work the hardest and get pucks in front of the net, I think should be the ones out on the ice the most, and that's the 4th line so far today. And really, for the whole season, those guys have been working hard and creating offense for the RedHawks.
One more time, we'll flip you to the guys in green and white. North Dakota, they're looking to hold on and move on. They were expecting to win this game coming in, and now with a lead going into the final 20 minutes, all they've got to do is just put this game away. What do the Fighting Hawks need to do to shut the RedHawks down in the final 20?
Yeah, they just need to play their game, and they can't go to sleep because, like we've been saying this whole time, Miami's a college hockey team, a D1 hockey team, and they might not be the best D1 hockey team, but they can still score goals in rapid succession, and they are by no means out of this game. So if you're North Dakota, you really just have to play your game and make sure that you don't fall asleep in this third period.
All right, well, I think that's all we got for you here in this second intermission as Miami's trailing North Dakota by 3, 5-2 our score. So in just a few moments, Jack Schmelzinger and Patrick Geshan will be back with the final frame. And with Miami trailing by 3, they'll look to come back and keep their season alive. You're listening to Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio.
I flip the script so they can't get filed. At least not now, it'll take a while. I change the pace to complete the beat. I drop the bass to MCs get weak. For every road they trace is a scar they keep. It's when I speak, they freak to sweat the technique. I made my debut in '86 with a melody and a president's mix, and now I stay on target and refuse to miss. And I still make hits for beats, parties, clubs, and cars and jeeps. My underground sound vibrates the streets. MCs wanna beat, then I play for keeps. When they sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique. They wanna know how many bombs have I ripped and wrecked, but researchers never found all the pieces yet. Scientists try to solve the context, philosophers are wondering what's next. Pieces took the lab to observe them. They couldn't absorb them, they didn't deserve them. My ideas are only for the audience ears. For my opponents it might take years. Pencils, pens, and swords, letters put together from a key to cause. I'm also a sculpture, born with structure. Because of my culture, I'm a rhythm instructor. Technical style that'll be full of technology, complete sights and new heights after I get deep. You don't have to speak, just see and peep the technique. But don't sweat the technique. I speak indiscreet, cause talking cheap. Then I get deep in the beat, think complete. Bold with the Z, never weak or obsolete. They never grow old, techniques become antique. Better than something brand new, cause it's original. In a while, style I have much more value. Classical, too intelligent to be radical. Masterful, never irrelevant, mathematical. Here's some soothing souvenirs for all the years. You fought to sort the thoughts and ideas. It's cool when you freak to the beat. But don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique.
Patrick Geshan, Jack Schmelzinger back with you here at the RedHawk Radio Broadcast Center in Oxford, Ohio. Game action occurring in Ralph Engelstad Arena, Grand Forks, North Dakota. NCHC quarterfinal, period 3 about to get underway between Miami and North Dakota. RedHawks move left to right across your radio as we get going here in period number 3. Can Miami keep their season alive? Down 5-2 to the Fighting Hawks. 1:42 to go on this North Dakota power play as we get going here in period number 3. Fighting Hawks with it in their own zone. They work it out through center ice. Kawaguchi left wing feed for Colin Adams into the offensive zone. Kawaguchi runs it around the boards to the far wall where Gamer's on it here for North Dakota. Tosses over there for Sendon. Kirsten now. Pinto a rip top of the near circle. Nice save by Pearson. Got his chest on that. And it's sent all the way down the ice by the RedHawks. 1:15 to go in the power play. Shield will toss this one out middle of the ice. With it, here's Pinto over the line on the right wing for North Dakota into the offensive zone. With 1:03 to go in power play time. Puck here in the near circle. Jace Pletzky ties up there with Gamer, stole it away. Corbett comes in to take the loose puck, and he'll clear up the left wing for the RedHawks with 52 to go on the power play. Strong kill here to start the third.
Yeah, and really aggressive kill from the RedHawks. They're sending 2 guys on the puck almost, which is almost unheard of, especially against a team as skilled as North Dakota, but so far it's worked, and it's fun to watch for sure.
Sanderson with it, left point for North Dakota in the offensive zone. Feeds it over to the right point for a shot that came in there, deflected to the corner, and this one kicked back out to center ice and all the way down into the UND zone. Another great clear by the RedHawks with 22 seconds to go in the power play. We're 90 seconds into the third period. Weatherby skates it through the ice for North Dakota. Right side feed. Just back down into the corner with the puck. Caulfield with it. Far half wall for the Fighting Hawks. Right point feed. Kawaguchi waits. Down low for Bernard Docker. Returns to the line. There's a shot. Sanderson just ripped it wide of the net as we're back to full strength. But a quick turnover. RedHawks coughed it up there near circle their zone. Almost a chance for Weatherby, but Miami stole it away. Here comes Strasner. Up the ice over the line on the right wing. Center play in front. 2 whacks out of Dashke. Now a chance for Loud. He can't get a stick on the puck. And it's cleared from the crease as North Dakota works this one in their own zone away from the net. Played back at center ice. Quick flurry of action there for the RedHawks. He had a couple whacks by Dashke on a quick centering feed in front. Loud was in the area. Just couldn't get his stick on the puck. And a open chance there. Keene with it near circle. North Dakota offensive zone. Quick shot on net. Sent wide. Yeah, Pearson down in the crease. They'll play on as the RedHawks will work this one up the wing. Yet a North Dakota player in the crease with Pearson. They D-tied up, and Pearson's okay. RedHawks with it here behind the net in the offensive zone. Olmstead coughed it up there for Bast. Skates out of his own end with a puck here for North Dakota up the near wing boards. Bast through center ice. Over the line on the right wing. He'll skate to the offensive zone. Reichwist will trip him up and will play on as Capstick will skate it behind the Miami net. Stripped there though by Blasdell. Here comes Colin Adams. Leaves it up to the left point for Kawaguchi. Sends it back down below the goal line and into the far corner. Capstick with it here with 16:43 to go in the third. Feeds it up through center ice. Matt Berry over the line with the puck. Bass storped it away from him and a 1 against 4 rush there into the North Dakota zone. And it's behind the Miami net now. Coming out of the near corner of the puck is Russell. Feeds it up the near wing for Berry. The chip back to center ice. North Dakota with it in their own end as Kirsten will fling this one through center. It goes off the skate of Kawaguchi, the intended recipient on the pass, and out of play with 16:22 to go in the second.
And they're showing a replay of a play a few minutes ago that it looked like a RedHawks shot from a low angle, and Adam Scheel was actually spinning around and just barely got the edge of his blade on that puck. If not, that would have been the RedHawks' third goal of the game, and, well, they would have been right back in this thing. Just goes to show how quickly things can turn in a hockey game.
Birch with it, far corner for North Dakota in his own end. Got a pass up the wing. Russell got it there, but lost it. Back deep in the North Dakota zone. Kirsten firing this one out through center ice, and Russell with it in his own zone for the RedHawks. Coughed it up, though, against Pinto. A shot from the circle. Nice job by Caulfield to get that one off. Pearson made the save, deflected up and out of play. After a second look is coming in from North Dakota on that shot to send it out was number 28, Judd Caulfield.
And Patrick, with the score being 5-3 or 5-2 rather right now, as a RedHawks fan, you can't help but think, what would this be like if they hadn't had that 5 or 6 minute lapse early in the first period, where they gave up 3 really pretty easy goals to North Dakota. This game has been closer than it looks on the scoreboard, especially if you take away that first 5 minutes.
Sanderson will run this one to the far corner after a North Dakota offensive zone win. Fighting Hawks with it here. Hayne to the far circle. Bad angle shot. Kawaguchi handled by the pad of Pearson. RedHawks skate this one out of their own zone. Here comes Dashke. Right wing feed over the line with it is Savage. Hits the brakes at the half wall. Backhand feed middle. Quick shot there. Corbett on the forehand left wing. And Scheel handles it in the breadbasket with 15.5 to go in period number 3.
Really good play by Savage there coming into the zone. It's called the Wayne Gretzky move. In hockey circles, he came right down on the wall, spun toward the wall to get himself some space, and was able to get that puck in front of the net and create a shot for, I believe it was Was it
Corbett.
Barry who took the shot?
Corbett.
Corbett. So great play there.
Bill Nye's with it, far half wall. Miami offensive zone. Gerard Wynn feeds it through the circle. Mahalik coming through with a quick shot there, handled by Shield. Aiming to squeeze the legs in on that as Mahalik coming through the middle of the slot, got a feet at the line, skated, and got the shot about 5 feet away. Shield handles it from the 5-hole.
And this is the type of offensive play that we really wanted to see from the RedHawks to start off this period.
Yep.
We talked about them needing to score a goal early, and they haven't done that yet, but they're certainly getting a lot of opportunities here to start this third period.
22 shots on net for the RedHawks in the game. 15:09 to go in the third. They're down by 3. Quarterfinal matchup, single elimination. Loser goes home, winner moves on to the NCHC tournament. North Dakota out to center ice. They send it across the ice there, across the sheet. Mahalik coughs it up in his own end, quickly in front. Kawaguchi, one-touch play, rebound, they score! Alec Mahalik, the senior, completely with a mistake on defense in his own end, right in front of Ludwig Pearson, turned the puck over. And he had a 3-on-0 on Ludwig Pearson with a snap of a finger. It was finished off by Brendan Buddy, but the initial turnover went right to Kawaguchi, who made a cross-ice feed over there to Colin Adams, and Buddy came in to clean it up. Past Pearson, 6-2 North Dakota in the third period.
Yeah, and that puck went off the post for North Dakota and sat right in the crease, and it looked like Miami had already really given up on the play. Alec Capstick was behind the net, not anywhere near. He would have had a chance to hit that puck away, but he was behind the net instead. So tough break for the RedHawks for sure.
14:34 to go in the third. They're down 6-2. Russell ripped from the line. Miami offensive zone. Shield with it in the glove. And that will give us a media timeout. The first one of our final period. North Dakota 6, Miami 2 on Buddy's goal. The catastrophic Miami turnover in the defensive zone. We're back in a moment to quarterfinal action. This is Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio. Just under 14 minutes remaining here in our third period. RedHawks down 6-2 to North Dakota in this NCHC quarterfinal. Patrick Geshan and Jack Schmelzinger back with you here from the RedHawk Radio Broadcast Center in Oxford, Ohio. As North Dakota works this one out in the Miami offensive zone right after the draw to the right of Shield. In this 6-2 hockey game, Miami regroups to their own end and gulps it all the way down the ice. Icing call here is Russell trying to pass it up the right wing. Did not connect with anybody. Truck coming back to the Miami zone. 33-24, the shots led by the Fighting Hawks. And we'll have to wait until tomorrow's quarterfinal matchups to see who the winner of this game will play in the semifinals of the tournament, which start on Monday. Championship game Tuesday night at the Ralph. In the frozen face-off for the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament, although probably the two teams in that game will be going there anyway.
If not a couple more from the NCHC, a really strong conference this year for sure.
I remember those days. You knew you were in anyway. You didn't care about these games. Puck back at center ice. The RedHawks with it. Right side for Clement. Means in middle of the ice for Dashke, and then back over on the way. Clement in his own end for the RedHawks. Means it up, borderline middle is Nyes, kind of tossed it there, and he got on the far side. Kawaguchi clears it out for North Dakota. Fighting Hawks rush over the line of the right wing. With it there, a shot just wide of the net for the Fighting Hawks. I believe that was Caulfield. They got the second line out there now. Line with it through the middle of the ice. Over the line of the left wing comes Chase Pletzky. Was knocked to his feet. And you got North Dakota coming through to clear it out off of his stick to center ice. RedHawks regroup here. They try to whack it in over the line of the left wing. Failed attempt by Pletzky. Instead, it softly goes to the corner. Bernard Docker will lock it up against the boards for North Dakota with 13 minutes to go in the third. 6-2 Fighting Hawks if you're joining us over Miami in this NCHC single elimination tournament quarterfinal. Over the line right wing, North Dakota offensive zone. Weatherby with it here in the circle. Will take it back to the line. Give and go with Frisch. Weatherby top of the far circle for North Dakota. Fed it through the middle. Grabbed there on the stick of Ella Capstick near side of the wing for Miami. And it's kicked back to the far corner. It's Barry, the backhand shovel, trying to get it out of the zone. It's kept in on the right point by Frisch. RedHawks are able to work it out finally up that far wing side, and it's back in the zone. As you got Sanderson with it here behind the UND net with 12:20 to go in the third period. Hits the brakes, means in right wing. Here's Sendin, right side at center to play this one in behind the net, and Drasner rims it around for Miami. The left wing feed and up the wing, the pass by Russell will go down back behind the net. Shield will rim this one around to the corner. Buddy shoved off by Drasner. Adams feeds it middle, rush to the way North Dakota. Kawaguchi on the line right away, tosses back on the drop. There's a bullet of a shot. Saved by Pearson. It came off the stick there of Bast, I think. With it at the line, he's got it. There's a rip from the blue line, a one-timer after the pass by Buddy. And Pearson saw it all the way through traffic, has it in the chest, with just about 12 minutes remaining here in the period. Number 3. If the RedHawks were to fall tonight, they would fly home tonight. Be back in the early morning hours in the East Coast time here in Oxford.
Got to imagine that wouldn't be a very, very fun flight.
It's funny, they gave him a really big plane. The travel party, only about 35 people. They gave him a plane that seats 120 for some reason.
I guess that would make it a little bit more, more pleasant.
You know, really social distance on that. Over the line, left wing, Savage for Miami in the offensive zone. Fired it in. Shield, a blocker, saved to the corner. Corbett with it in the corner now. He was stripped away by Bass. North Dakota up the wing. As Bass, the backhand feed out to center ice. Coughed it up there. Clement plays it ahead. 2-on-1 maybe for Miami in the offensive zone, but a pass over to Savage after the left wing drive by Barbolini was unable to connect. RedHawks with it, right point. Corbett for Cassetti, left side shot from the circle that went over the net as Shield has about 4 guys in his crease with traffic. Now he got contact in front as North Dakota trying to skate the puck out of the zone, and penalties are coming up after a stoppage of play with 11:02 to go in the third. He had a cluster of about 4 players, 2 from each team, tied up in front of Shield. They were just shoving each other like crazy during that offensive zone possession for the RedHawks. Clement was in there, Savage was in there, and then Clement was tied up with Shield. Shield actually gave him a shove and came out of his crease. Then Colin Adams did the same. And I'm trying to figure out who these penalties are against.
All I could say is I'm glad I'm not the referees having to sort this one out, because it was really just a big jumble in front of the North Dakota net there.
Looks like Miami is going to be on the power play here. That's what it says on the scoreboard. Yep. 11:02 to go in this third period. So we'll hopefully get our penalty call here soon, but whatever it was against North Dakota. Maybe they called Shield on that for Ruffy. He came out of his crease and just attacked Jack Clement.
Yeah, I gave him a couple of shots with the blocker too, so I would not be surprised if that was the case.
So what does Miami do here on the man advantage? They lose the face-off, and it's cleared all the way down the ice by North Dakota to start it off. Again, the RedHawks down 6-2 in this NCHC quarterfinal. 10:50 left in period number 3. Dashke the near wing feed. Savage with it, center ice. Cross-slice look over on the wing, and over the line is Barbolini. He'll come in there as Bernard Docker takes it away in the corner. Fed it through the circle. Back to the line is Savage. Near circle feed, Barbolini has it right point. Over there for Dasky to the far circle for Savage. Barbolini near circle down the look. A quick shot. Pat saved by Schilling. Got a North Dakota player down below the goal line, but they can't blow the whistle because the Miami RedHawks are on the possession. Fans don't get it. Dasky near circle for Barbolini. Back for Dasky. One-time play in front. Savage cannot connect on the feed there by Corbett. Top of the near circle, Barbolini over there for Corbett. 1:03 to go on the power play for the RedHawks. Dasky with it here, high in the zone, will feed it over. Give and go with Corbett. Dasky, near circle for Barbolini. Dasky with it up high. Barbolini, as the North Dakota player has gotten up, they've joined the diamond now on the penalty kill. There's a rip far circle. Corbett sent it over the net, and Dasky will keep it in right point as it came all the way out there. Dasky to Corbett, far circle with 38 to go on the power play. Barry sends it down to the corner for Savage. Back to the line now for Matt Barry, walks it middle. And now up the right point, right circle, drops it over there. Dasky middle, Savage the rip, immediately blocked. Bernard Docker trying to work it out, but he was tripped up. They'll play on. Here comes Weatherby skating it up the far side. Can't get it out though. Dasky to the circle, RedHawks down deep, but quick play over. Barbolini missed a one-timer from Savage. Barry with it, near circle for the RedHawks. Top of the near circle, Barbolini, quick shot just wide of the net. It was left in front there for Shield, and back at the line, Miami with it. That power play is over. Miami a full 2 minutes of possession on the power play. Cannot score. 8:55 to go in the third. Barry with it. Right point for the RedHawks. Fakes the slap shot. Top of the near circle, but unable to get it off as Sendin will chop it off his stick out of play. And this will be a stoppage with 8:44 to go in the third. And North Dakota will not be able to change here. They still have their 4 guys out there that were on the penalty kill as they purposely sent the puck out of play there.
And man, poor Jacob Bernard Docker, he got injured on the play. It looks like he caught an edge and might have twisted his ankle there. Knocked his head into the boards. And then later in the play got hit in the head by a shot. And then once he was able to get up and get in front of the net, Joe Cassetti shoved him over 2 or 3 times. So really not a fun sequence for him at all.
So Brad Barry will use his timeout here with 8:44 to go in the third. And of course, you had all the North Dakota fans there in the building yelling that the referees didn't stop the play, but they couldn't because the rule is if the other team has possession, you can't stop the play. Unless the guy's like bleeding to death, but Bernard Docker was not. He was just simply down, and the penalty kill was a tough spot for North Dakota to be in. But yeah, you're right. Twisted his ankle just far enough from the end boards where he crashed into the end boards and hit his head. And a smart timeout by Brad Barry with 8:44 to go here in the third to get some rest for his guys.
That's for sure. And with a player as talented as Jacob Bernard Docker, with any player really, but you really just hope he's okay. That was an ugly looking sequence for him. Not to mention getting hit in the head by a puck once he was on the ground and getting shoved over multiple times in front of the net. So definitely hope he's okay.
All right, so the draw coming up here into the left of Shield. You got Graham in it for Miami, along with Shane Pinto. North Dakota wins it, clears it out back to center ice. On it here is Pletzky, gave it up though in his own end. Kawaguchi, the backhand play in on net. Pearson, a great pad save there to stop him on the little breakaway.
It's not often that Jordan Kawaguchi misses a chance like that.
Monty Graham near corner for the RedHawks, rims it around the board to the left point. Drasser there was hit hard by Sendin, who sends him off the puck. Kawaguchi 2-on-1 the other way over the line left wing. Give and go with Pinto, and the return feed over to Kawaguchi went behind him on the left wing. Kierstead right point, Bernard Docker near side. Adams the shot, rebound came in front, sent wide. And the RedHawks clear to center ice and out. We'll get a much needed change with 7:58 to go in the third. Shield came out of his net, cleared it all the way down the ice. It's behind the Miami net. They waved off the icing after it was touched by a few sticks. North Dakota with it in their own zone. Kierstead shoved off there by Matt Perry near corner of the Miami offensive end here. Loud on the puck now. You get a whistle over a penalty coming up. Somebody was shoved over in this battle. Shoving occurring after the whistle. You had a 2-against-2 battle that turned into a much bigger one than that, and we got penalties coming up here after the media timeout. I'm not exactly who they're on, but we'll have that for you after the break. 7:34 to go in period number 3. 6-2 North Dakota in this quarterfinal. This is Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio. .734 remains in the third period. 6-2 North Dakota over Miami in this quarterfinal. The penalty is against Matt Kirsten. He gave two two-handers in the back of Matt Berry against the board. So he's going to get a penalty coming up here against North Dakota. RedHawks to the power play with 7:34 to go in the second. Patrick Geshan, Jack Schmelzinger back with you here from the RedHawk Radio Broadcast Center in Oxford. Miami, another power play chance coming up in this one. 7:25 to go in the third. RedHawks working here in the offensive end. Far circle Berry. Here waiting for Barbolini. Trying to feed this one in front, and Weatherby shoved him off the puck. It's kicked back to the line. Dasky keeps it in. Feeds it to the far half wall. Berry down low. Savage spin around play. Loose in front. Shield doesn't know where it is. Puck still in the crease. They fight for it. Shield finally finds it in a cluster of bodies. And will make the stop with 7:05 to go in the third, 1:32 to go in the power play. And the RedHawks get an offensive zone draw coming up.
And it's fun to get a look at Matt Barbolini, the freshman standout on the near half wall, setting up for a one-timer on this power play. He's got a really good shot, and that's something we could be seeing for the next 3 years as RedHawks fans.
Yep. Really talented offensive player, and we saw that even early on in the pod in Omaha. How ridiculous of a shot he has. North Dakota clears it after the draw. 1:18 to go in the power play. They got 6:50 left in the third, potentially Miami's season. They're knocks down 6-2 to North Dakota, the single elimination NCHC quarterfinal. Barbolini far half wall, give and go there with Dasky. Barbolini emerges with a puck for the RedHawks. Dasky left point, near side Barbolini, flinks it down to the corner, and Barry's on it here for the RedHawks. Shoves this one out at the half wall. Bast for Barbolini. Back to the line with it is Savage. He will wait and shoot it from the very high slot. Glove save made by Shield. And you can hear the applause from the 2,000 plus or so fans in attendance at the Ralph tonight. 47 left in the Miami power play. 37-27. North Dakota leads the shots.
It's not a terrible offensive output from Miami. We've seen them get a lot fewer than 27 shots against teams that are a lot worse than North Dakota this year.
You just had a bad start and a lot of stupid turnovers.
Absolutely.
Drasner give and go at the half ball with Nyes. Left point with it is Dasky. 37 to go here in the Miami power play. Up high with it there was Graham. Played in front. Barbolini copped it up. Weatherby will clear it all the way down for North Dakota from in front of his own net. With 23 to go in the man advantage. Strasser with a near circle for the RedHawks. Will skate it out. Left wing feed over the line with it. Phil Nyes hits the brakes high in the zone. He tied up there with Weatherby. Kick back to the line. Played over for Strasser. Right point for the RedHawks. Sends this one around the boards behind the net. Pletzky gave it up for Graham. Back over on the far wing. Russell will shoot it. Nice block there in the circle by North Dakota. Kicked out to center ice. And that does it for the Miami power play with 5.5 to go in the third. They're down 6-2 to North Dakota in this quarterfinal. Near side with a puck. Here come the Fighting Hawks. They skate it out. Bast feeds it cross ice. Over the line on the right wing comes Kawaguchi. Quick shot. Pat St. Pearson coming in for the rebound. Another great save as Buddy looking for another chance and another goal tonight. Pearson standing strong on both chances. Pass shoved over in the corner by Phil Nyes with 5 minutes to go here in the third period. And potentially Miami season. North Dakota with it here at center ice. Puck popped out of play for some reason. We get a stoppage with 4:54 to go in the third. North Dakota 6, Miami 2.
And like you said about Pearson, he's standing strong this game. You know, you might not think, giving up 6 goals, you might not think that he had a very good game, but he's faced 40 shots, and these North Dakota shots, they wait for good shots. They've all been high opportunities. So
Right.
Pretty good game from Pearson, especially the freshman.
Yeah, for sure. And Gabriel with a shot there, far circle, UND offensive zone. He was gobbled up there by Pearson. Puck cleared all the way back behind the UND net. Scanning it out there was their extra man, Cooper Moore, on defense tonight. Pinto through center ice, got poked away there by Olmstead. Over the line left wing, Barry fed it middle, was stripped away by Lown, and the Fighting Hawks work it through center ice again. Here's Gabriel over the Red Hawk line left wing. We'll pitch this one back. He got Lown on it. Pinto to Kierstead in the middle. Far side Sanderson works it in behind the net with Send It. He tied up there with Ben Lown. With 4:05 to go in the third. Here's Barry with it far side of the ice for the Redhawks in his own end. He's tripping over his own guy trying to get the puck out of the zone, and Dashke sent all the way back below the UND goal line in their own zone. Kierstead over on the far wing. North Dakota grabs it here. You got Hain off the far side of the ice for Russell. Far circle with it is Trasner. Back over for Russell. 3:38 to go here in the third period. Over the line on the left wing was Gilling. You get Cassetti trying to support him. Puck poked out to center and then returned back in the zone by Miami. They had to regroup after the offside call with 3:24 remaining here in period number 3. And this one sent all the way back down the ice by North Dakota after a center ice dump in. Redhawks with it here behind their own net. Russell left wing feed. Coming down the ice is Olmstead. He was poked back of the puck by Kierstead. Redhawks rework it through neutral ice and back in their own end. Trasner has it here. Left wing feed. It's sent into the zone there by Clement and in behind the net. Grabbing it in the corner. Barbeline, the rim around the boards to the near side of the ice. Grabbed here by Kawaguchi. Now it's sent out to center. And with it is North Dakota over the line right side. You got Frisch, the center play in front for Mahalik. He will grab it for the Redhawks. Skate this one out up through center ice. Left wing feed is Karam. Back to Mahalik, far circle. Frisch tied up with him. And now you got skating out of the zone is Kawaguchi for North Dakota. Over the line on the left wing, he'll come. Toss it back with a nice shot there and a beautiful save by Pearson as a bullet came off the stick of Harrison Blasdell, but Pearson, just like he's done all year, stretches out to make the save. 2:23 to go in the third. 6-2 North Dakota in this quarterfinal. This is Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio. .212 to go in our third period. 6-2 North Dakota over Miami. Patrick Geshan and Jack Schmelzinger back with you here from the RedHawk Radio Broadcast Center. Luke West Poley will join us in a moment with a post-game show. Gavin Hain double tap there on Ludwig Pearson as he came into the net. And our post-game show is coming up. Luke West Poley will recap this one. take a look back in the Miami season, and we'll send you off the air for the final time of Miami hockey this year on RedHawk Radio. Stay tuned. Stick around after the game for that. Gavin Hain, high slot, fires it in, and Pearson with a nice save there. Got his whole chest on it with 1:41 to go in period number 3.
It's really good to see Ludwig Pearson still looking confident out there. Not afraid, and as a freshman, glad to see that from him.
And a 6-2 North Dakota lead. Luke, when you got a moment, tell us what's coming up in the postgame show.
Well, on the postgame, I think we're just going to recap what we've seen thus far from the RedHawks in this game and throughout their whole season, and take a look around the rest of the NCHC and send you off the air for the final time.
Sounds good. Quick shot after the offensive zone draw by North Dakota. As this one kicked all the way back into the Miami's offensive zone. Olmstead in the corner, coming out with it, Barbolini. Olmstead in a battle in the corner down there with Moore. This one sent to the near wing. Fighting Hawks will skate it out. Stopped at the line was Frisch. Coming down the wing was Cassetti. You got Olmstead there for Miami. He has a lot of promise next year. Number 9 in red tonight, the junior transfer out of Troy, Michigan. Alec Boholigas Sr. will play his final minute of collegiate action here in this one. Kicks it middle of the ice. Over the line right side is Olmstead. He was kicked off the puck right there by Moore. Kick back to center. Mahalik the D look. Over on the left wing is Russell. Final time you'll see him in a Miami uniform is tonight. He's stolen away there on the far side by Cooper Moore, who's been the star of this shift for North Dakota. 40 seconds left in the third period. Puck back out at center. Pletzky over the line on the right wing. Through the middle. Quick shot. Nice save there by Shield. Another chance at it. They whacked it wide. 27 to go in the third. Hain out at center for North Dakota. Coughed it up there. Clement came in to rescue him, but gave it back to the RedHawks. You got Slatic over the line, far side of the ice is Pletzky. Skates it middle. 13 to go. You can hear the crowd really getting into it. Ready to send their Fighting Hawks to the next round of the playoffs. Coming up the middle of the ice with North Dakota. That's Keane, and he'll just dribble this one out like a basketball game. Final buzzer sounds. Fighting Hawks 6, RedHawks 2 from Grand Forks tonight. North Dakota moving to the NCHC Frozen Face-Off semifinals in their own building. A chance to play it and go to the championship game coming up on Monday for the Fighting Hawks, for the Miami RedHawks. The season is over, and it ends in the first round of the NCHC playoffs with a 6-2 loss to the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. So Luke West Poley will be back with your post-game show. Jack and I will join him as well. We'll send you off the air for the final time and take a look back at this one. Coming up next, post-game show rolls on when we return. You're listening to Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio.
Back here for the RedHawk Radio post-game report. Miami falling in their final game of the season, the first round of the NCHC tournament, to the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. 6-2 was our final. Let's take a look at how we got here. Scoring started early for North Dakota. 14 seconds in, Jordan Kawaguchi fed Colin Adams for the first strike of the game. Once again, that was just 14 seconds into the game. North Dakota would grab the lead later in the first. Louis Yamernick would score off a shot from a sharp angle that Ludwig Pearson was not able to seal off, and that would make it a 2-0 game. Colin Adams would then tack on another one just 9 seconds later off the rush, and it was that slow start for the RedHawks that really ended up killing them throughout the rest of the game. Miami would respond with Phil Nyes later in the period, putting one in to make it 3-1, but before the first 20 minutes could come to a close, Reese Gaber would make it 4-1 for the Fighting Hawks. Into the second period we go. Jacob Bernard Docker would bury one to make it 5-1. Miami would close the gap a little bit off a fluky shot from Rourke Russell that found its way into the back of the net, and that was how we finished things after 40 minutes. And then once we got into the third, Brendan Beauty would score for North Dakota to make it a 6-2 game. So let's take a look at our final stats here. 6-2, once again, the goals in favor of North Dakota. North Dakota outshot Miami in this game 46-28. Those shots were close for a while. However, North Dakota pulled away, especially in that third period. 6 power plays in the game, 2 for Miami, 4 for North Dakota. Neither team was able to convert on any of those. However, North Dakota did convert right after the power play expired on their first attempt. And faceoffs were dominated all game long by North Dakota. At every single intermission, they had an advantage. The final tally in that one, 39-26 for Brad Berry's squad. And they would also move in front in shot blocks in that final frame, 14-13. So we'll bring back in our broadcast crew, Patrick Geshan and Jack Schmelzinger, and just talk about what they saw from the RedHawks in their final 60 minutes of the season, and as well as the season as a whole. So looking forward, Patrick, you know this team very well. You know a lot of guys on it. What are you most excited for moving into next year?
I think just a culture change, Luke, to be honest with you. And the culture just hasn't been there the past few years, I'll be honest with you. I mean, you got just a tough culture in the program right now, and you could point a lot of fingers in a lot of directions. I'm not going to do that, but Chris Bergeron just needs to get another recruiting class in there and just kind of instill that culture shift that this program really needs at the moment. I think a lot of the issues are not on the ice, they're off the ice. And so a lot of that needs to be addressed in the off season, and hopefully this new recruiting class that Bergeron and his coaching staff can get in can help just in terms of that standpoint. But on the ice, Luke, you certainly have your goaltending covered. Your back end looks decent. I think offensively this team needs some more goal scorers, right? We don't have a whole lot this season to talk about in terms of what player really stepped up offensively for the RedHawks. I mean, Barry was the leading scorer, but we weren't seeing him put up, the numbers every night to be reliable, consistent in that department. So number one for me is a culture shift. Number two, you need more on your front end offensively for next season.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with you in that. You can kind of sense that culture change, and you look at Chris Bergeron and you look at when he talked to the media and when he talked to this RedHawk community throughout the offseason when he first came in and now throughout his first couple of seasons, and that's really been a point that he's tried to drive home really hard, is that change in culture for the RedHawks, bringing in new recruiting classes and just changing the mindset back into a winning mindset that they once had back when Bergeron was an assistant here many years ago. Jack, we'll switch to you now. You saw this last 60 minutes, and I think you focused a lot on positives when we were talking off the air. What did you like from the RedHawks that you saw here, despite not getting the win?
Yeah, like you said, I think that it was not a bad showing. They other than that first 5 minutes, like we've said this entire time, this was a pretty close game, and what was it, 28 shots overall for the RedHawks today. I mean, we've seen them have a lot less shots against teams that are a lot worse than North Dakota this year. And so I thought that they were pretty good offensively, did a good job in the later part of the game, really, other than the first 5 minutes, clearing out the net in front of Ludwig Pearson, making his life a bit easy. And like Patrick was saying, it was a pretty impressive showing from Ludwig Pearson, facing 46 shots as a freshman against the number 2 team in the country and the best team in the conference. And he stood in there the entire game, stood up and never lost any confidence from what it looked like. So definitely a good showing from him, and excited to see what he can do the next 3 years.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I want to kind of give an open-ended question to both of you. I think that all three of us saw offense was an issue for the RedHawks, not only in this game, but all year in general. It seemed like they were getting outshot in pretty much every game, and it's tough to win games when you can only put up 2 goals a night. You can't really heavily rely on that if you want to win hockey games. So are there any guys in particular that either of you are looking for in the future, freshmen, guys like Matthew Barbolini or anyone else that sticks out to you that contributed offensively this year, but you're really looking forward to kind of honing in their game in their next couple of years here at Miami and, turning into a real offensive firepower?
Yeah, I think Barbolini's one of them that comes to mind immediately. He stuck out to me when I was with the team in Omaha. I mean, his shot is tremendous. The way he can fire the puck toward the net, he can score from a lot of different ways, a lot of different angles. He's very versatile in that department, and he's fast too, and that really helps in this league offensively. The other guy for me is Joey Cassetti. I think this guy has a tremendous shot. He is a vocal leader on this team. He can bring in that new culture that you talked about off the ice. But, I mean, he as well, a very versatile, explosive offensive player. He's got a shot. He can skate. That's the kind of offensive player you need to be successful in this league. So that's kind of my two guys that I'm really looking forward to. Another guy I was impressed with this year offensively was Jack Olmstead. I thought he did a pretty good job on offense too. He's a smaller guy, again, with speed, can shoot the puck. He cares about his play. He does a lot to improve his play that people don't see when everybody's not watching. So I think those three guys to me are the most promising as we look toward next year.
Yeah, I totally agree with Patrick on those three. Barbolini, especially for me, was really fun to watch this year. And somebody I'll have my eye on, he's not a forward, he plays on the back end, but freshman Robbie Drasner. I mean, that guy's a modern-day defenseman. He's a little bit smaller, but he's speedy. He can make that long breakout pass. And overall for the RedHawks, I think Luke was saying this off air a little bit, but Bergeron's Bowling Green teams they didn't always have the highest end talent or the best, explosive top line scoring. But depth scoring and hard work is going to be important for these teams. The whole roster getting in on the scoring. And I think, like Patrick was saying, a little bit of a culture shift, getting Bergeron's third recruiting class in will have a big effect on that. So I'm excited to see, really just excited for next year.
Yeah, I think both of you brought up some great points. And going back to Jack, what Jack just said right there with Chris Bergeron is, anytime you even talk to the guy, you hear, anything that he says about his team, he really gets you excited about the future of this team. And you talk about his Bowling Green teams and how blue collar, how hardworking they were. That's fun hockey to watch, because that's a game where, you can come into a game against very good teams in the NCHC, and maybe your recruiting class isn't as good as North Dakota's, which obviously Miami's won't be for the next couple years. I mean, that's just going to take time. That's the reality of it. But you feel a lot of confidence that you're able to just go in and grind on teams, and you're not going to play the style that North Dakota plays with all these NHL draft picks and guys that can dangle with the best in the world. But if you're able to put pucks in deep and really work hard and just try to force those bounces, then you really put yourself in a good position to win hockey games when on paper I don't think you necessarily be tribulated as a real contender. And I think that's something that Chris Bergeron wants to build back into his team.
Mm-hmm.
So the last guy I want to talk about, he's received a lot of airtime this year, and rightfully so, and that's Ludwig Pearson, the man between the pipes. It's weird. I was kind of thinking about is Miami, the reality is they lost a lot of games this year, but his stats are surprisingly good if you don't look at his win-loss record. I mean, came into this game with a .930 save percentage and I believe around a 2.4 goals against average. And, he's someone that as a true freshman, I mean, you're really just not going to see anybody better around the country, Patrick.
It's funny because I don't think a lot of people know this. The coaching staff never watched him play once in person before they offered him here. And part of that was from the pandemic, but they were just looking at numbers in the NAHL at goaltenders and the USHL, and this guy stuck out to him for some reason. And I met Ludwig here when he came on his visit, and he was just such a nice guy. I mean, he's just such a quiet, easygoing, nice guy, and that's the way he plays on the ice too. I mean, nothing rattles this kid. If I was an NHL scout, I'd have his eyes on him for real. I mean, this guy is one of the best, I think we can say at this point, after his freshman season where he showed some consistency throughout the whole year. Maybe one of the best goaltenders to come through, this program in the last 20 years, and that's saying something based on the amount of talented players that have come through Miami, especially in net these last few decades where we've seen a lot of success around here. So this guy is a real deal. And I think the only thing you got to worry about now, Luke, is what if he leaves early? I mean, that's a real possibility, right? If he continues to improve these next couple of years and someone gets their eye on him, there's a potential that he can go sign somewhere. But I'm really impressed by Ludwig on and off the ice, and just I don't think we ever expected to see him play this way at all. I think every fan around the country saying that this guy's just the real deal and one of the top ones in the nation. I think by the time he's a senior, he'll be one of the best goaltenders in the nation, hands down.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. I think he really proved something here tonight. I mean, this is a big stage, Ralph Engelstad Arena in front of fans, playing the second best team in the country. I might say the first best team in the country, but the USCHO thinks differently. I'm not sure about after tonight. But a big stage and went down early, had a tough first 5 minutes, and came back and never really looked flustered. You know, it's just really impressive, especially from a freshman coming in and just having that mentality that he's not going to get rattled no matter what happens. And the skill's obviously there. The thing that you need to worry about a lot with young goaltenders is their mindset. And with the skill being there and the mindset, I think obviously being there, especially after tonight, I'm really excited to see what Pearson does in the next 3 seasons, and I hope we get to watch him for the next 3 seasons.
Yep.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he's out early, just like you said.
I wouldn't either.
Absolutely, and I was just thinking of that myself. And consistency has been the key, and he's really kind of been the only piece that's been consistent for the RedHawks when you look at their offense, when you look at their defense. It's kind of been spotty at certain times, and he's really been the piece that's kind of held it all together. He had really good stats last year, as you mentioned, also playing last year for the Lone Star Brahmas in the NAHL. And, yeah, like you mentioned, I mean, NHL scouts got to be looking at this guy. He was named to the Richter Award watch list. He was not named a finalist for that award, but you got to think, especially if this team's going to keep improving in front of him, that Ludwig Pearson is going to have nothing but good things coming his way in the next couple of years.
Yep.
So, guys, I think that's all I got. I don't know. Do you guys want to offer any last comments? It's been a fun season here on RedHawk Radio.
Got anything, Jack?
No, I agree. It's super fun season. You know, not always the result we wanted to see on the ice, but I sure have enjoyed my first season working with RedHawk Radio. So thank you guys for making it so fun for me.
Thank you for your help as well. I'll just say, it seems like it was 2 weeks ago that I was in Omaha on the pod, and then everything started. It just went by so fast. This year, obviously, with a compressed schedule, but what a crazy year it's been, right? I mean, a year ago today, the team was in Duluth, and their season, they were just told was done. And how far we've gone, the past 12 months, and the lengths that everybody's gone to just have a season, right? When the amount of testing this team has gone through and contact tracing, we can go on and on, but it's just tremendous that they were able to pull this off this year. And yeah, the result was not always there, but the team did get to play this year, and I think they should just be fortunate enough for that. And it was a lot of fun to hang out with you guys this year, and we'll do it again next year under better circumstances. We'll be in the building again with a full crowd, I hope, and it should be another more fun Friday and Saturday nights right inside the Goggins. So thanks again, Luke, for your help, and Jack as well, and really looking forward to next year, and hopefully this team will put together some better talent out there on the ice.
Always a pleasure. Love Miami hockey, and I always will, and it's really been fun covering it. It was fun covering it last year. It's been fun covering it this year as well, and I got nothing but good things to say about my experience this season on RedHawk Radio. So that's all we have for you this season. Unfortunately, it's come to a close for the RedHawks. They fell tonight to North Dakota. 6-2 was the final in that one. For our entire RedHawk Radio broadcast crew, Patrick Geshan, Jack Schmelzinger, saying thank you so much for watching today and all season long. Once again, good night. Final score, Miami falling to North Dakota 6-2. This has been a presentation of Miami Hockey on RedHawk Radio.